And we're live.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of. I'm not yet sure what exactly it's gonna be, but anyway, that's the fun of it. Just getting to discover exactly what it is that you're creating and what it is that you're gonna do is a joy in itself. And I'm fortunate enough to be joined by a close friend of mine, someone who I've known for a few years, but actually it feels like I've known him forever because there's just so much crazy histories, so much crazy memories that I have with him. His name is Catalyst. Hey man, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Excited to be here. This is my first time doing a podcast, by the way. So, yeah.
I'm
Thank you for
sorry,
having me,
man.
man.
I know as you said it's your first time, and unfortunately, we don't even know what we're doing here. Not really. So,
That's what makes it fun, eh?
it makes it interesting.
Yo.
Anyway, as
Yeah.
J. Cole says in Wet Dreams, I never did this before, but you still go on.
Nigga, behave, bro.
Man, that song is more than just sex. I kid you not, man. That song speaks to my soul, man. I've removed the sex from it, and it's just about like encouragement and like I don't care if it's my first time or anything with anything. I'm acting like I know that thing, and I'm just going in to get it. I'm not gonna let anything stop me.
Hey, man, it is what it is. That's the good thing about art. You can interpret it however you want, man.
Yeah, it is, man. It is, man. It is a great thing about art.
Oh, man.
But anyway,
Yeah.
how's been the day though?
It's been chilled, man. It's been chilled. I just got back from running. So
Another
Nina
10K?
Kawash, like I'm a little bit tired. I did 11.5, so I
Well,
I
yeah.
added an extra 1K, 1.5K. Yeah, to just take it up a level from last
Making
week.
me feel bad about my walk.
You know?
I'm like, damn.
Nah, man. Actually, a walk is important, man. I take those every day, bro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like right after lunch. Yeah, just
Wait,
take a
right
walk,
after
you know.
lunch?
Yeah, right after lunch.
Yes, man. I can't see myself doing that, man.
Man, that's the best time, bro. You've just eaten, you're full, then you take a walk. It just mellows you out. Like it puts me in a nice zone, man. You should try it.
And I'm in a cool zone because like I walked, then I had like a late lunch, and so now I feel like cool, calm.
You eat after the walk.
Yeah,
Now that makes sense, man. You take a walk and then you eat afterwards. You chill out, sit on the couch, you know what I mean, and just relax.
exactly.
But I prefer to do it right after I eat. Like,
I think I'm too lazy after eating, man. Especially if I eat like
mm,
like the way I did.
mm. So right. Yeah, I get you. So the thing for me is like after I eat, because I eat a lot, bro. Like I'll be so full that
Mm-hmm.
in order to like speed up my digestion, that's one of the reasons I like walk
Mm-hmm.
so that I stop feeling extra full.
Ah,
So I take a walk, it speeds up the digestion, gets that nice blood flow and all of that. And then yeah, man,
I get
I
that.
can go about the rest of
I
my day.
definitely get that. Next one was inspired because I got some shoes that I'm trying to
Mm.
break in because I'm using them for like the hike that's coming up. Yeah.
So you got like proper hiking boots. Because I'm actually trying to buy a pair as well, but I don't know if I'll get the boots. I think I want something very lightweight and those shoes that like let water just pass through them.
Yeah.
Y- Yeah, they are almost like fishing shoes, if anything, like the shoes guys wear when they're going fishing. I think I'm going to
But do
settle for
those
those.
have grip though?
Yeah, they do. So they are hiking shoes,
Ah.
but they are designed in this like lightweight, minimalist type of style. So that's where I'm leaning. At first, I wanted to get boots, but then I'm like, okay, if you're going to be walking for 8 hours or more, you don't want some heavy shoes on your feet. So
Yeah, true.
yeah, it it's like That's mad ironic. Like, how are you buying hiking shoes at the same time I'm thinking about getting
Hey,
a pair
sure.
as
No,
well, man?
because no, I've actually been thinking about it. So Yannick is one who like shared just the link that he used. So I didn't even like think twice about it. I just like went for it. I'm like, okay, no, I'll just get it.
Mm,
Yeah,
sure, sure. How do they feel? Like, do they feel like you can walk in them for like a long period of
yeah.
time?
Because I just did like at least 3 hours. Just did. Yeah, I
For
just did
real?
it.
Was that
Yeah,
today's
today.
walk? The walk you said? Man, bruh. Three
Yeah.
hours, man.
Let
Wow.
me. Yeah.
Just in the hood.
Yeah, just in the hood, man.
Wow.
Just at the school, like when you turn like left off the main gate,
Mm,
then you like just go straight. Then just by where there's that what do you call it, that mall, you turn right.
yeah.
So that's just how I went. I
Mm,
just went down. I didn't even know where I was going. I just walked.
right. I've never even gone that side, to
Neither
be
have
honest.
I.
Yeah, I've never.
Like you today.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's cool, man. I hope you like had a nice podcast you were listening to or like some good music to keep you company for 3 hours, man.
Dune, man. Dune. That's what
Dude.
had me up. Man,
That's yeah.
this book is addictive as fuck. This shit is steroids, man. This shit should be illegal,
Uh,
man. Like, god damn.
uh, bruh.
Mm.
That's why like
Mm.
I like Dune so much that I decided not to watch the movies. There's like the old movies that I don't know when they came out, like in the 1980s or whatever.
Really?
I didn't even bother to watch them because I knew like, okay, the technology at that time, there's no way they can manage to make
Capture
Dune,
everything,
and
yeah.
I didn't
That's in
want
the
it to,
story.
to ruin it. And then there was the one that came out, I think last year or the year before.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a Dune movie, and even it, I know like, okay, the technology has caught up, but I don't think they can still capture what's in the books. So I avoided watching it, even though it got
They
like good reviews.
they did. They did.
Yeah.
They did. They did capture like what was in the books, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that they it's a problem I've noticed like with movies is that it's like a crunch
Mm.
against time, you know what I mean? So it's like they failed to like put in
Yeah.
everything, all those little details. And
Yeah.
it just makes everything like it just changes everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Cause even the like minor differences and you see like how certain things have been adapted for the movie. Even when
Mm.
Paul and his mom first get like caught by Stilgar and everything.
Yeah.
There's a way how like they changed that whole thing to like fit the big screen. And it's good.
Yeah.
I won't deny it. It's like really good. And even
Yeah.
is it Jameis, the guy who Paul kills? Even that, like the way
Yeah.
it's like wrapped in, it's good,
Mm.
like for the movie. But then when you actually see the book and see what it was or what the author envisioned that being, you're just like, what the
Right.
fuck?
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
don't know how the fuck they could put it into a movie. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really difficult to capture like the nuance because
Yeah,
in the
man.
book they're telling you what each person is thinking,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean, what they're feeling. Um,
Yeah.
so it's hard to capture that because in a movie that's just a, a second, a second of the frame, and that's it.
Exactly. Mhm.
Yeah, see, that's why I avoided watching the Dune movie. I'm like, do I really want to? Because man, for Dune, right? Because the original
Mhm.
author he passed away, and then the later
His
books,
son
it
and
was I
somebody
think
else.
his son and another person continued it. So I read
Hmm.
just the series with the original author. I ended on God Emperor of Dune, which I think is like the fourth or fifth book or something like that.
Hmm.
And that book, bruh, is deep. Like I don't even. Which one are you on right now? Like, are you on the first one still, or?
Bruh, I've gone, man. I'm on the third. Children of Dune. Is it Children of the Messiah? So some children of should be Children of
Yeah,
Dune.
yeah, yeah. With what are his kids' name again? The names are
That's
Leto and
Leto and Gamma.
yeah, the twins, right?
Leto and yeah, the
Man,
twins.
yeah, this is where things go crazy,
Oh,
right?
I can
Like
see it.
this is where things actually get crazy, and it sets up God Emperor of Dune, which is like Man, I don't want to talk about it because then I feel like I'll spoil it for you.
Yeah,
But
no,
God
don't
Emperor
do
of
that.
Dune, yeah, it will just make you think about like what society needs for it to be peaceful, for people to be just like, let's just chill, guys. Let's just be peaceful and friendly to each other. There's no need to be like, let's go conquer this place or let's go and try and change how these people live. Like it,
Wait,
yeah,
is
it's one of those
is
books.
God Emperor of Dune the one where like an emperor who like ruled the entire item under like an iron fist for like 1,000 years?
Not 1,000, bro. Longer than that. But yes, it is. Like
I can't.
if you keep asking questions, I'll keep answering. And if I ruin it for
No,
you, it's not my fault, bro.
I think we might have had this conversation.
Maybe, maybe. If we were
Yeah,
talking about books, I probably mentioned it because it's one of those books like I hold it in high regard, man.
I feel like we did. We
It's
spoke
one of
about like
those.
that particular part. Well, like after like a
Uh,
1,000 years of like shit, like them just going through like hard times and like things not going their way, and then finally they
uh,
get like a break, like
right, right,
generations upon
right, right.
generations of hardship.
Mm, It's got that kind of a storyline where like there was this one guy who just manages to just take over a large amount of the universe, not just one planet, but like literally the universe. And they just can't beat him. They just try and fail and you'll see, man. You'll see.
Yeah.
Let me not go too deep. We can talk about it after you're done listening to it and then you can tell me what you think.
Okay, no pressure. I definitely will.
Mm,
At the rate I'm
yeah, man.
reading, most likely it might just be soon because I'm finding myself like reading more often than not.
Right.
Every second that I have, I'm just like listening. I'm just chilling, listening. If I can, I will.
Uh-huh. That's the good thing about audiobooks. I don't know if you noticed, man, like the last time we met, man, my earphones
Mhm.
were always like hanging near me. Like any second I get,
Yeah.
if I could, even lunchtime, I would have been there. Just I'm having my meal and listening to these audiobooks, man. It's like
Yeah.
the best way to listen, bro.
Man, I honestly didn't think it would get like this because the thing of where man, I no longer even like watch series anymore when eating. Well, I don't even
Yeah.
I don't do it often anyway.
Mm,
Like
mm.
then I'd like put up
Yeah.
a movie, put up a series, like browse on Netflix, and like put something. I'm like, okay, I'll do this while I eat, man. These days, man, I'll just like walk in with my audiobook, set my food
Yeah.
down with my audiobook, eat my food with my audiobook, pack up after I eat with my audiobook.
Yeah.
if if I could
No, man.
shower with my audiobook, man, I feel like I would.
Bro.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
I'm
It's
telling
just
you,
too
man, it's real
too much
addictive.
of a it
Yeah,
is,
man.
man.
And it's even worse. Like for me, I reached I times two the speed because like I you know what I mean? Like I want
Yeah.
to listen to it faster. So I times two the speed, then I just go, bruh. I just go. And it's always
Mm.
like if I'm not listening to an audiobook, then I'm listening to an interview or a podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I get very like narrow minded about it where like if I stay in that zone for a long time, like 2 months or whatever, I'll have to like stop myself, like, yo, chill, chill. And yeah, like take it easy, bro. Like, hey, watch a movie. So that's where anime comes in. Like every once in a while, I'll just
uh,
stop. Like, okay, enough with the books, enough with this just being on go mode the whole time. Yeah, watch some One Piece, and watch some stand up comedy or something.
but it
Does it ever
doesn't
get like that
it
for
do-
you, man?
it doesn't feel the same. Okay, I know what you mean. I do get it. But then like some of these things, they don't feel as fulfilling. Like
Yeah,
their stories
yeah.
feel shallow.
Mhm.
Because like you said, man, like when you're reading the book, there's just so much that you get from it. And I think I've always loved the idea of books more than I've always loved reading them. That's me.
Mm.
I love the idea of reading, but I've never been able to like actually sit down and read. That's not my thing. But now
Ah,
listening just feels
yeah.
like way more intense. It just feels like more like something I enjoy doing. And
Right.
it just makes me just get all sucked in because like the storyline is just so epic. you get to hear
Uh,
everything that's going on in that person's mind. You get to know, okay,
yeah,
this person
true.
is thinking like this, that person is thinking like that. Oh, that's what's going on in that person's mind. Because in movies, you're sort of like left, you're given that latitude, to interpret what you think is going on,
Yeah, yeah.
which is good in its own right. I'll give it that. But then just being told what's going on, like where you know what's going on, and then the other person doesn't, you get to hear like this new level of like, man, I don't even know just how
No,
to put it, man.
I
I don't
agree
even
with
know
you,
how to
man.
put it. But
I
it's
agree
honestly
with
been
you.
fun.
Yeah,
Because even like my usual series right now, I don't
yeah,
even feel like watching them. Like, not really.
yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah.
I was thinking about watching what's this, The Flash, because you know
Yeah.
what I mean. I like DC. I like comic books, so I've been
Hmm.
watching, The Flash from the time it started, man. Even when it
CW's?
became terrible. Yeah, yeah, the
Uh,
TV series. Even when it became like too much, the power of friendship,
yeah.
Irish this and love that. Like, I
Yeah.
just stuck with it just because I'm a fan. I was like, okay, I'll stick with it. And then the new season is out right now, and I haven't even watched one episode. I think it's like 6 episodes in, and I haven't even watched
No.
one because like I'm
Not
just
bad.
deep in these audiobooks, bro. Right now,
Yeah, man.
I'm listening to Terry Pratchett, the Discworld series. So this guy has like I don't know, 30 something books in his universe, the universe he created. So it's a lot of books, man.
Really?
And yeah, yeah. And I don't know why I started because now I have to listen to all of them. I can't just not listen to all of them, bro.
Yeah, like that's a lot of listening to do.
Bro,
Hmm.
I don't even know why I did it, right? And I should
Yeah.
have not started. Like, but now I've started, so it's like, okay, fine. We're going all the way.
Yeah, man. You can't just tip it, man. You.
Yeah.
Huh? Uh,
For real. Actually, I attempted to do this reading before I got
mhm.
into audiobooks, and I read about maybe five of the books.
Yeah.
And then I just fell off,
Nice.
right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but it's you should check him out. It's fiction. It's a fiction fiction books,
Sweet.
and yeah, it's about like
Man.
magic and wizards, witches, warlocks.
Man.
And it has science, all this kind of stuff mixed in together, and it's really really funny, like very witty book. Yeah,
I try to take a look into it because now I'm supposed to be switching off the nonfiction, off the fiction into nonfiction.
yeah. Oh, you're feeling it's time to get into nonfiction.
Well,
That's good, man.
not really. There's also like a number of like nonfiction books that I like wanted to read, or that I've been
Mm,
like meaning to read. Because even
yeah,
like recently, I was reading this book. Like I had like the ebook. It was
yeah.
maybe you should talk to someone. It was a therapy book by Laurie. I can't remember
Okay,
what her name is. Yeah, but it was like a therapy book. So I kept on like reading it, and I was like really enjoying it. Like like because a lot of like lessons to learn, about it, about yourself and about other people, your interactions with people and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I kept on like because it was actually reading. Like of that the times I'm not like really be feeling it or really be feeling reading, and I'd like read for
yeah.
like a couple of days here and there, like before I go to bed or whatnot. And
Mm,
eventually again I'll go through months where I stop. Then again I'll pick it up again. Then again I'll go through months where I stop.
right.
Literally, Tony gave it to me like when was this? 21, I think. Um, January of 21. The time when we had that Magic Academy camp, and I was in
Yeah,
Beijing.
yeah. I remember
That's
that.
when Tony gave it to me. I literally like started it. I skimmed it,
Uh,
then I put it away for like an entire year.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's how like I like the idea of reading, but I just don't read.
yeah, and I understand, man, because I
Yeah,
think like when when reading, it takes time for you to get in the zone. Whereas like an
yeah,
audiobook is like you just relax. All you're doing is relaxing and listening. With reading, it requires
exactly.
a little bit more like a
Focus,
little
yeah.
like 15 minutes of boredom before you really get into it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh man.
So that sounds like the audiobooks just feel like way better. They just feel more intense. So I'm like I would like a whole list of books that I would really like to like listen to. A couple. And I want to
Yeah,
listen to Goggins stuff.
man,
Mm,
man.
yeah,
I can't talk about that book enough, man. Can't Hurt Me, the first one. The second one,
man.
I haven't listened to it yet. Um, I'm gonna wait a little bit because right now I don't need a fire. I'm already fired up. You know what I mean? Like I don't need an extra fire. I'll hurt myself. So
Yeah, I get you.
yeah, you get what I mean. So that's
Yeah,
Goggins,
yeah.
man. But that book Can't Hurt Me. Great book, man. You should definitely listen to the audiobook. Definitely.
Now, that's something that I'm like I need to listen to. But then speaking of Goggins, actually, there's a way that he handled his book that I've
Mm,
been. Well, I know a number of people have done it, but I think I mainly noticed it with him.
yeah.
That like really got me. Where he also did a podcast about his book. What he would go
Mm,
through. I don't know exactly how he was doing it, but I know of like that I should go through like certain chapters and whatnot, and he'd speak about them and everything. Like while he like, maybe
yeah.
like while he reads it or something, while like you'd explore like or maybe the idea of each chapter and whatnot, and like give you like
Mm-hmm.
an extra depth into it. And
Yeah.
I've been so captivated and fascinated by the idea of that whole thing, and I'm like, I would really want to try doing that, someday. I need to
Mm.
find an artist, someone who's written a
Uh,
Zambian artist, someone who's written a book and whatnot, and be like, hey man, let's make a podcast. Hmm?
right.
Let's put your
Right.
entire life on let's put it
That's
out
a
there,
great idea, man.
just
That's a great
yeah.
idea. You should do that, bro. You should do that. Just because. So what this guy did is he hired someone to read the book for him, and the reason
Hmm.
he said he did that is because he didn't want the book to be so much about him. He wanted it to be about
Okay.
the listener or the person reading it. So even when he did the audio, he hired his friend or an acquaintance to do it. And so they
Okay.
would sit in the booth, separate booths, while the other guy is reading. Every time he completes a chapter, they would just talk. Or at any point while he's reading, even the guy reading would just pause and be like, bro, what just happened here? Like, what were you thinking at this point? And they would talk
Yeah.
about it, just go back and forth. So it added this extra layer that is
Oh.
really interesting. It's like the first of its kind as far as I know. And man, I'll totally like listen to a podcast that does that. Like it's a book reading with like
Yeah.
little interruptions in the middle to find out what the author was thinking at the time. That man, that's a very good idea.
Wait, that's how the book was actually published? The audiobook?
The audiobook is like that, yeah. The audiobook is like
Really?
that.
With the
Yeah.
interruptions, with the breaks and the questions?
Everything. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought the
So no
I thought
normally
all
they
that
do it at the
was
end
a
of the
side
chapter.
note.
No, that's how the audiobook is. That's how it is. It's a book, podcast, interview. I don't know what you can call it. Like, but that's what it was.
Damn.
Yeah, but they normally talked at the end of a chapter or
Chapter.
be at the beginning of a chapter like that. But then there were
Yeah.
some situations where like he just does something crazy. The guy, like I don't know if you know Goggins, but he's done some things that other people would consider impossible, man. So like in
Mhm.
between that, where you find like, okay, yeah, so I was running on broken legs, and then the guy reading would be like, wait, bro, wait a minute, bro,
You
what?
are what?
I was running on broken legs. Broken? How were you running on broken legs? And then he'll break it down like, okay, so I would take duct tape and I would tape up my leg in a certain position, and it's like
Yeah.
a movie, man. It was a straight up movie in your mind, like
Yeah. It
that
feels it,
guy,
man.
bro. Yeah, yes.
I can just imagine
Plus,
being told that shit.
right.
Mm.
Plus, the guy Goggins has got a voice, bruh, that's like he's shouting at you, man. I can imagine. Imagine if it was just him reading the entire book, like ish. You'd have to pause it every 15 minutes. Like, okay, okay, now, okay, siyafuda first, siyafuda
You're
first.
like, man, stop screaming at me. Huh? Hmm?
Yeah, man. No,
Oh my god.
it's a good book, man. You should check it out. That and Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. Viktor
Okay.
Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning.
Man,
It's one
search
of
for
those
meaning.
books that, yeah, it would really like challenge how you perceive, like you know how people always say that there's always a silver lining, or if you have something that you're looking towards, it doesn't matter how difficult things are, you can always get through it. You know that
Yeah.
sentiment, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That book, that book really captures that like in a very real way because it's nonfiction, right? And this guy talks about his life and what he went through during World War II. So
Hmm.
it's one of those books I think everyone should read, you know. Man's Search for Meaning.
Man, search for meaning.
It's yeah, yeah. I have the
Not,
audio by the way. You
I'll definitely look into it.
mm.
I'll definitely look into it.
But it's one of those deep books. You know what I mean? Because obviously it's World
Mm-hmm.
War II, right? So it's not like a book for the
A simple
light-hearted.
read, an easy read.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah. The guy went on to develop his own form of psychology. Like
Yeah.
he started dealing with people who were dealing with mental health issues. Like somebody wants to maybe like commit suicide or whatever, this kind of stuff. So he
Yeah.
developed his own school of thought in that field. I've forgotten the name. Is it logotherapy? I don't remember the name, but yeah, he developed his own school of thought. Um, and the great thing about this guy, Viktor Frankl, is that even when he wanted to release this book, he didn't want to attach his name to
Oh,
it.
really?
He wanted to use a fake name because he didn't want to become famous. And he didn't
Mm-hmm.
want people to attach his book and what he went through to his school of thought because his school of thought is something he was thinking of before um, World War II happened. So this guy was Jewish,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
So he went through some stuff. He was Jewish in Germany, so he
Yeah.
went through some stuff. So, but he had started developing his school of thought before that. So he didn't want it
Wait,
to just be, yeah.
is it the one who sort of like went through like he went through the Holocaust? I think he lost his entire family like
Oh
during the
yeah.
whole thing, isn't it? Well, like
Mm-hmm.
when he came out, like not, I don't know how to say it, but like where at the end or after the Holocaust or everything, he tried
Mm.
like looking for his family and everything, only to find out that he lost his wife and his kids or something like that.
Oh yeah, his entire family, bro. His entire family,
Yeah,
and he figured it out while he was still in one of the concentration camps. He when
oh,
yeah um yeah he figured it out when he just thought about it like, oh, when we arrived here, they took the men this side, and then they took the kids and the women that side. So that side wasn't where they were taking the people that were surviving. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I'm on this side and we survived. So where did those people go? It was late.
damn,
Yeah, man. Crazy book,
damn.
but it really changed my perspective because this guy was like, while they were in those camps and whatever,
Hmm.
he could tell when a person has given up 2 or 3 days before that person passes away. Like everyone who was there could tell, like just by looking at a person, like, oh, that one has given up on life,
He's
and
close to the end.
yeah, like they've just given up on life. And for him, one of the things that kept him um, alive essentially is the fact that he was still developing his school of thought in his mind. He was still
Yeah,
thinking about it like, I really need to develop my theory, the thing I was working on before all this started. And
yeah.
that's one of the things that kept him alive. You know what I mean? So
I
it's
get
a
what
really
you
good
mean.
book. and the guy is a legend for doing that and for not wanting to attach his book to what he went through, just wanting the book to be on its own with an anonymous name. His
Yeah.
friends had to convince him to put his real name on the book, like serious convincing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know,
Damn.
right? Next level. I recommend you check it out. It's a
Next
really
level
like
indeed.
powerful book, man.
No, I definitely, I definitely will. I definitely will. You know, sometimes the fiction is good, but you just need something good, something real to bound you to reality. You know,
True.
something that lets you see this world for what it is. Because sometimes you can really just get lost in the fantasies and
Mm,
everything going on. You just
I
need
agree.
that reality.
Yeah.
Now,
For me, it's always trying to do the opposite, man, because I listen to all these books,
mm-hmm.
nonfiction, and then I'm like, whew, okay, fair fooder. Let me, you know, toss in something light, switch it up for a little bit.
Switch up a little bit.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah,
man.
I get what you mean. Because now it does get heavy, especially if you're one person who can internalize like most of these things. So one person who's
Mm,
really like looking into it like on a very deep level, yeah, really understanding everything that's going on. It
mm.
can definitely like just get too much and just choke you. Mm.
True,
Yeah,
true.
but then I'm one person. I think that's what my problem is, and that's why I love nonfiction. That's why I love fictions because I love stories. I love a good story.
Mm,
Like from the beginning, the time when you can see this is how this movie is gonna end, or this is how this story is gonna end. You
yeah,
know it where it's going. But
yeah,
sometimes I'm just like, what's the journey gonna be like? You know, and that's
yeah.
just what like gets me into it. I'm like, I want to see how they get there. I know where they're going. That's fine, but I want to
Uh,
see how they get there. So
yeah.
nonfiction is that's why fiction sorry tends to be like my thing most of the times.
Got you. You know what? What you just
Mm-hmm.
said, what it reminds me of.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I started watching True Story by Kevin Hart,
Yeah,
and then just like I don't know if it was episode 1 or 2, but just it's episode 1. Just when Wesley Snipes wakes up Kevin Hart and the
yeah.
girl is like dead and all of that,
Yeah.
and I instantly knew the whole plot, bruh. Like you just woke him up, and I was like, "Oh, I see
Like,
what's going on."
God, yeah, like I see it now. I know what you mean.
And I remember telling you, like, "Yo, bro, here's my theory. I think this guy is trying to set him up to make money, blah 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 blah." And you played it cool, man. I remember, like, you played it cool, like, "I don't know, bro. You should watch and find out." I'm like, "Okay." Oh man.
Because I didn't want to I didn't want to spoil it for you because exactly it's like one of those where from the beginning you see where it's going, but then the
Yeah.
journey itself is the one that just like shocks you. You get to see like how these guys are like doing it differently, or how
Mm,
how
yeah.
man is so desperately trying to believe that that what he knows is true is not true. Uh, and even how
Oh,
he does it is also interesting. So
yeah,
oh
true.
man,
Hey, man, and it was a dope plot, man. It was very hard for
Dope.
me to watch Kevin Hart like that, bro.
I know, man.
I'm
it
one
it,
of
it,
those.
it, it yeah, it felt new, because he was less hearty than he usually is. Mm.
Yeah,
He
he was
was he
being
was, he
gangster.
was yeah.
He's being ruthless, bro. I'm
uh
like,
it's a different type of gangster because like the movie that flashed to my mind when you said gangster was is it Get Hard?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait,
uh,
is Get Hard? See, that's the thing with these movies. Get Hard is not the one with Ice Cube. That's Ride Along, right? Get Hard
yeah.
is with Dwayne Johnson.
No. I don't think so. I thought Get Hard is the one with I can't remember who it is. But it's played by but it's a white actor. The plot of the movie, if I'm
Mm.
not mistaken, is it should be the one where this guy is going to prison. I think for like embezzling or something like that. And so he's trying to like prepare
Oh,
himself for prison. So that's why he hires
okay.
Kevin Hart to like, get him ready for prison.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
snap. I remember that. Is that the one where he dressed up like uh like a crypt or something like that, like
There
scaring the
must have
kids at
been.
the school, right? There was like a scene where he dressed up like a crypt, like some like Easy E or whatever with the sunglasses and whatnot, and he's trying to act gangster like at a school, right?
I'm not sure actually. I can because it's been a mess since I've watched it, but I can.
Wait,
I'm
now I remember it
no.
with Will Farrell, the
Is it
big
Will
tall guy,
Ferrell?
Colin
You
Farrell,
know, I
big
don't
tall
even know why
guy,
I'm
white
acting like I
guy.
don't even have my laptop here with me.
No, this guy, white collar job, gets sent to jail, or he's going to go to jail. So he hires Kevin Hart to prepare him for going to jail, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that one.
Yeah, Will Farrell. That's who it
Will
is. You're
Ferrell.
right, Will
Yeah,
Farrell.
yeah,
Man, that's my problem. I tend to know character names, but I do not know a few people's actual names. I feel like a dick sometimes, you know.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that's the
yeah.
one. Mm.
Mm. So that's the gangster Kevin Hart chased. Oh man, that's funny,
Eh,
man. Yeah, true story
man,
was hard to digest. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, at least he showed he's got that other dimension, not just comedy the whole time.
oh yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Even when he did the other one, Fatherhood,
Yeah, yeah, that was a good one as well, man.
I like to see. I like the growth, man. Like when you
Yeah,
see somebody like grow, somebody change, somebody push past boundaries,
yeah,
especially like a black man, like that. It makes me feel more inspired. Like every day I'm like, God damn it, that
right.
you get to feel more reasons that that could be me. Pushing boundaries, shaping and changing the way that the world works. Or at least the
Yeah,
way Zambia works.
yeah, yeah. That's true,
Hmm.
man. When you see someone do it, it makes it more believable, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, gotta push the boundaries because people want to put you in a box, man. The first thing they know you for, they want you to stay there, even if it comes from like a place of love, bro. People
Yeah.
will be like, "Hey, man, you're so funny. We love you, funny. Just stay in this
Just stay
box."
there.
But yeah, you can always do more, bro.
You can always do more. Boxes. Someone said something about it. It was just gospel artist. Yes, I know how funny that is.
Mm.
Um, as
It's not funny, by
God,
the way. It's all
agnostic
good.
as I am, I listen to a couple gospel artists.
Man,
So
I was
there's
just
this one I've been listening
listening
to for
to.
like years. Huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, like I vibe with gospel artists as well, man. Especially Lecrae. Is that
Yeah,
how you say his name? Lecrae. Yeah,
Lacrae. I think it
Lecrae.
should be Lacrae. I'm not sure, but
All right.
it's not
Yeah.
Lacrae. It's another guy. He's Andy Mineo, and I don't feel if he's a gospel artist or if he's
Mm,
just an artist who's really like in that direction. But yeah,
yeah.
his name is Andy Mineo, and then there's a point where he speaks about boxes and whatnot. I think
Mm,
I can't remember which album it was, but anyway, he says a line about boxes and how people who tend to perpetuate boxes are doing it not just because of what they think about you,
mm,
but then also because of what they think about themselves. You know, like
yeah.
if you believe that others, can change and whatnot, and others always stay in that box, then what
Mm,
do you believe about yourself?
right. That's
Yeah, and
deep.
then
That's deep.
exactly, and
People who
it
want
just
you to
got me.
stay
I'm
in your
like,
box are probably in a
exactly,
box themselves.
yeah,
That's
probably in the
deep,
box
man.
themselves.
Mm.
Exactly, and that's why I
I mean,
hate boxes, and that's why I've like always tried to like push away from boxes or not have my mind clouded by boxes
mm,
because if I start doing that to other people, how long till I start doing that to myself?
right. Chances
Yeah.
are, before you even do it to other people, you're probably doing it to yourself, man. That chances are. That's all I'm saying. Like, um, yeah,
It's a
man.
red
Because
flag of what you're doing to yourself, huh?
yeah, it's one of those things. Like, every time someone tries to place a limit on
Hmm.
me, or when I see someone trying to place a limit on someone else, in the past I used to get pissed. But
Yeah.
now I've grown, bro. So the first thing I think is like, wow, this person is probably putting so many limits on themselves that's it's a little bit sad. You know what I mean? So I don't
Yeah, I
even get
get you.
pissed anymore. I'm just like, oh man, that's too bad, bro. Like you probably putting so many limits on yourself that you've got limits to share, bro. Like your cup overrunneth with limits, bro. Like you even sharing some now, like bro.
I like how you made I like how you made it sound all biblical and stuff as well. Your
Bro.
cup runneth over with limits. Man, don't let my mom hear us laugh about this. I'm gonna get an ass whooping. I know she's all
Uh,
the way in Zambia, but hey,
yeah, yeah.
I don't trust that woman. Huh?
Mm. No, man. But you know, I always think about that. It also goes in line with like when you hear someone say hurt people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about that. Like people will try to put you in a box, but you don't really have to stay there, man. Just expand, expand, do your thing.
Oh my god, damn!
Uh,
I know what you mean. It takes me back to that book I was talking about therapy, about
mm,
how we tend to have like this weird perception of where we are right now, like in our lives. You know, like
yeah,
that thing where you feel like, oh, these things are not going great, or things are all terrible and whatnot. You
mm,
tend to feel like you're within like this prison, and
yeah,
I guess I'm paraphrasing it, so I'm losing like some of the value in which like the way the therapist actually put it. But he
mm,
was like, you find yourself being your own jailer, putting yourself in your own prison, putting yourself in a space where you feel why you aren't being productive and stuff.
mm,
And then he went on to add something more profound, and he was like, you actually even forget to realize that yes, you have bars in front of you,
mm,
but have you looked around to see if there are any walls around you?
mm,
At least that's the way like he put it. And then like it just opened my mind, like the times when we feel like we're just like in this crazy ass, or like in this cell, because that's what we're seeing in front of us. We're seeing the prison bars. And
right,
yet on your left, like there's wide open space. You can literally just come out and get out of the prison and everything. And I'm
right.
just like, wow. It's funny
That's yeah.
how our mind tends to do that to us sometimes.
That's deep. That's deep. And I agree because I was watching an interview and
Hmm.
one of these guys who studies neurobiology and the brain and how it works, and it's like your brain works with patterns, right? So if
Yeah.
you create certain patterns, your brain will just recreate those patterns over and over again. Even if it doesn't matter what that pattern leads to, it can lead to a negative outcome, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
know, you do something that causes you pain. For example, right? People who end up
Mm.
dating toxic people, right, and end up in a bad situation, break up with that, and then end up just in another as bad situation as before, right? Because they end up with like similar kind of people. Like I
Yeah,
just
pattern. Yeah.
right. So that is like you do that with your brain. Your brain is comfortable going in the same loop, and it'll be happy creating that same loop even if it leads to pain. So you have to
Yeah.
be able to break those patterns, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do you break those patterns? It's by doing stuff that's new, stuff that you've never done before, learning something new. So your brain knows, like, oh, I'm never in a pattern loop of anything. I'm constantly like, I'll do one
Yeah.
pattern and I switch up. So that switching up becomes your pattern, becomes your new pattern, right?
New pattern. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And
Mm.
that's like when you said, have you looked around to see if there's any walls? That's literally what came into my mind. Like, yeah, it's like the way you see things is one way, but have you tried to break that pattern and literally
Break
just
out of
break out of it? Just make a left turn where you normally turn right. It's
it.
true.
But it's hard, man.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
hard.
So it gets easier the more you do it, but you have to do it often for it to get
Often.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You have
True,
to do
man.
it often for it to get easier. And then there's also the thing of like you're constantly negotiating with society, like, you know, 'cause they'll come for you. They'll be like, "Yo, bro, get back in your box."
And you're there like, no, I don't want to get back in my box. and
Yeah.
and that's a weird thing is that though you said it, they'll just keep on coming for you. You know, you keep on
Mm,
like protesting, they'll keep on coming even harder.
right. That see,
And
that's why I like uh artistic people like Kanye West, Mumbayachi, you know,
mhm,
because
yeah,
they push those boundaries. They actually break them. Like obviously, some guys who overdo it, right? But
yeah,
Tamayachi, you know, like the way Mumbayachi he's just got this odd style, like even the
yeah,
dress code and everything. Where it's like, yeah, bro, just do your thing, because
do your thing.
it makes another person. I don't think anyone looks at Mumbayachi and thinks like I want to dress exactly like him, but they probably think if that guy can dress like that, or he can do
Then I
what
can.
he's doing it like that, then I can do my own thing. You know what I mean? Because if he
Yeah.
can do that and still be like a solid individual and a successful person, I can dress how I want and be fine.
Be
So
who I am. True.
yeah,
I
that's
get what you mean. Damn. It's
yeah,
true.
man.
It's true.
It's hard to push the boundaries, man. The boundaries of the culture.
But
It's a tricky
sometimes
negotiation.
but sometimes those boundaries do need to be pushed, man. Sometimes society what am I thinking of? I think
Mm,
the times when we tend not to understand the boundaries. And I'm not even sure if this is a conversation that I had with you. I know where I had it. I know I had it like on this campus. Or at least I
mm,
assume it was on this campus, but I can't remember if it was with you or not.
mm,
About how we tend to forget or we tend to lose sight of some of the boundaries that we have. I think when we spoke about it, or if I'm remembering correctly, when I first spoke about it, the example that we used was religion. You know,
mm,
like why the African culture or society at that time was taught to adopt religion the way it was. You know, why we like
mm,
pushed each other into like getting to understand Christianity the way we do. It was
mm.
not because it's something that we believed in, but it was because it was something that we felt we needed to protect ourselves
Yeah,
from the
we needed
colonizers
it
at the time.
to survive. Yeah.
Exactly. But then over time, somehow like we forgot that that's why we had Christianity. And then we believe that Christianity, or that's why we adopted Christianity. I think that's a better
Mm,
way of putting it. That's why
mm,
we adopted Christianity. And we believe that we adopted it because it's something that we actually believed, forgetting that
mm.
it was something that was
It was
thrusted onto us.
right.
Yeah.
Um.
And it's
Yeah. Continue.
oh no, yeah, no, you can go on. You can go on.
It reminds me of the story of this guy. He joins the army, right? And he finds guys standing guard in front of a cement slab, right? And
You told me.
I told you about
But
that,
do go
right?
on, do go on.
Yeah, he finds guys standing on a cement slab. You know what I mean? And he's like, "What's going on here?" Because they're like, "No, we stand in front of the cement slab and we stop people from passing over it." And
Yeah.
he's like, "Why?" And our commander told us this. Okay, cool. And then he traced that story back. He went to the commander. Oh, commander, why do we do this? They told him like, actually, my previous commander told me this. So they kept going back and back and back in the line until they
Yeah.
found the guy who started the whole thing. And he was like, oh, I asked guys to stand there because we had just built the slab and the cement wasn't dry. We didn't want anyone to walk on it. That's why I asked those soldiers to stand there and make sure nobody walks on the concrete slab. And it stayed like that for years after that man had retired and left the army, you know? And for
Exactly.
years afterwards, these guys were just defending this concrete slab for no reason.
You know, I like how you're using the word defending.
No, defending it, bruh. Thou shalt not walk on this slab, bruh. And you know how soldiers are, bruh. They'll do you
Yeah.
dirty, bruh. You walk on that slab, bruh. You much.
I
Man.
love.
It's weird, man. It's weird how like you can be set up in a way to defend and protect your own limitations, like you know,
Yeesh.
you know.
That's beautiful put.
Yeah.
Defend your own limitations.
It's important to
As
question
much
these
as,
things.
sorry.
Saying it's important to question these things, you know, like okay, how
Yeah,
why are things the
it
way
is
they
important,
are?
and that's what I
Where did
wanted
they
to
start?
like, to
Mm,
drill on. I'm like, as much as um, what to do after may be tricky. I feel like something that is even harder sometimes, or can even be the hardest thing to do, is to accept those
yeah.
situations. Accept that we've got blind spots. Accept that we're defending our own limitations.
Mm,
I feel like
yeah.
that sometimes is the hardest thing, and I feel like as a community, sometimes it's been our Achilles heel, so to say, because we feel so ingrained with that idea, that
Right.
we can see ourselves out of it. You know,
Right.
we,
Yeah,
we,
I
we don't
agree with you.
know what we look like without.
Man, the familiar. We like with people. We really like what we are familiar with. You know,
Yeah,
like if it's something we're familiar with, it's a way of life. It's what we do every day. We want to maintain that, and then
yeah,
anytime change approaches, we get scared because it threatens our way of life, right? So we
hmm
will fight for it. But sometimes the thing we're fighting for is not even it's not even worth fighting for, you know?
no,
It's something like what example can I give? Do you know, I think I told you this. Like when lights were invented and then they were like,
Mhm.
okay, so we can put these lights everywhere and it can be bright at night.
Mhm.
People lost their shit. People went crazy. Yo, you can't be putting lights when the sun goes down. It's supposed to be dark outside because that's how nature intended it to be. Like people lost their shit, man. Protests, everything, bro. This stuff is going to disturb our sleep. It's going to what? It will ruin
Oh my
society.
god.
So many things. And to a sense, to a certain extent, actually, it probably did disturb a lot of people's sleep, right? But
Yeah.
then again, it
For sure.
wasn't as much of a big deal as people made it out to seem, you know?
Yeah. Shit. I actually did know of that.
Yeah, it's funny, bro. Like humans forget, man. Those same humans forgot they were protesting lights are the same ones who are protesting 5G. Like, really, nigga? Fast internet? Is that what we're talking about? Like 5G is dangerous because it's faster than 4G? Are you serious?
Because it's fucked up on 4G.
uh, I want to.
Man.
We were
Look at you
funny, man.
out here making new enemies, man. These people will find you, bro.
But bro, nothing sounds cooler than a cool conspiracy theory. And to all the conspiracy theories, I'm pro conspiracy theories, bro. They make things more interesting, man.
True,
Conspiracy
man. They
theories
definitely
are
make
fun, man.
they definitely make something like worth living,
Mm,
like some
bruh.
you just like shocked, like wow. I really can't believe like somebody had had the goal to put this idea together and
Bruh.
sell it.
Uh.
It's one thing to like think it, but it's another thing completely to
Like to write it down and publish it and gain
publish it.
followers, bro.
That's a whole different. It's a whole different
Like
level.
yeah, that's why humans, bro. Some people even believe the Earth is flat, like flat earthers, bro. And they're still around up to now, man.
I know, man. I
Oh,
know.
man.
And I saw this like weird reel on Instagram like lately actually, where apparently a flat earther like disproved himself in an experiment.
Oh
He
no.
was trying to like prove the Earth is flat in like an experiment, and he ended up
Mm,
proving the Earth is round.
it's spherical.
Huh?
Nah.
Hey,
Yeah.
huh? It's
Naturally
like
so.
God damn.
Naturally so. Man, people are funny, bro.
But then, to be honest, I give them some respect in a way,
Yeah.
because I see them fighting against nature, like in the same way that we spoke of. Destructive,
Mm,
yes. No, no, not gonna lie about that. But then
mm,
just the fact that that they had to question everything,
yeah.
I feel like it's something that is critical, something that we need to be doing more. Why you always question everything that's around you, and you'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah, this color is blue, but why is it blue?
Right.
Is
Yeah.
it
That's
blue because
that's
it is
true.
blue, or is it blue
Mm.
because that's what we said the color is? You know,
Mm.
I
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
know how
I
like
hear you.
weird and controversial that whole sounds, but then it's when you start to accept like all these little things, or start to question all these little things, is
Yeah.
when like you really get to have a better scope of everything that's going on. You know.
That's true. I think yeah, I agree with you. Conspiracy theorists make it possible for us to question things. And because in the past, I just used to accept the way things were, whatever someone who was older than me told me, or you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
then I think I watched the documentary called The Zeitgeist. It was the first one, which is like it was talking about like society, like look how society is structured. It's structured in a certain way. Like you're supposed to live like this, like this, like this,
Mhm.
like this, and to be productive, you have to do certain things. This is not by coincidence; it's by design. There's control involved. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
even when I first heard of the flat Earth theory, I was like,
Yeah.
"What the hell, man?" They were so convincing. I was like, "This can't really be true, can it? Like, can the Earth really be flat?"
Flat.
So eventually I had to do my own research to figure things out, right?
Yeah.
So the conspiracy theory did serve a good purpose in that it allowed me to like question and have to go and look to find the answer to
Answers.
yeah. So they serve a purpose, man. They teach you to question everything, question it all, and because the truth stays the same. The answer should stay the same. So it doesn't like you know what I mean. No matter
I
how
like how
many
you
times you
rephrased it to
question.
should stay the same.
It should. If what you're saying is the truth, then it should maintain that truthfulness forever, right? It doesn't
Forever,
suddenly
yeah.
stop
In
becoming the truth.
everything that happens, everything that you see, everything that it,
Exactly.
that is involved in the whole thing.
Mm, mm.
True. True. There
Yeah,
should
that's
be
how I
that.
see it. So that's why like um when it comes to anything, you should be
Mhm.
able to question it. The only person who should be afraid, like, let's say if you're a Muslim or whatever, and someone doubts Islam or whatever religion you believe in, and you get angry, then you're not sure, right? Because if
Yeah.
you're sure, you wouldn't be angry because you'd be like, oh, yeah, let me show you the answers, bro. Like, no matter how many questions you ask, the truth stays the same. And it'll be that. It'll always be the truth, no matter what,
It will be
you
there.
know?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
everybody
so
to
you
see.
shouldn't be afraid of questioning. Like, people can ask questions. Yeah.
Questions, man. Dumb
Yeah.
questions.
Mm.
Eesh.
It helps.
You
It
know.
helps everything move along, right?
No, it does. It does. It does. I guess the other thing that you get to think about when you look at like questions is why you go seeking for the answers.
Man.
Because I'm just imagining like if young Carter like just stepped into like one of those conspiracy theorist books and whatnot, he would have
Mm.
also believed that the earth is flat.
Bruh.
Mm.
I mean, I did step into that, but when I went looking for answers,
Hmm.
you know, you got to make sure your search is robust. You can't just
Yeah.
go in one direction and be like, this is it. That's why sometimes I'll listen to something like, I don't know, let's just, to make it more clear, I'll listen to something about love, and
Hmm.
I'll simultaneously listen to something about hate, just to have a view of both sides, both opposing sides, just to make sure I'm not having like a bias, you know, to make sure my search is robust.
Yeah, complete. Yeah,
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
the complete picture.
Right, right, exactly. So that's my whole thing. At least from the time I was a kid, that's something I always had. Like no one had to teach me like, yo, get everyone's side of the story before you
Make a decision
pretend
or
to know what's going on. Yeah.
yeah.
So like even when my friend will come and tell me like, oh, I did this shit and this guy did that and what, I'll be like, bro, that's just your side of the story, man. I need to go talk to the other guy, find out what's what's actually
What
going.
happened
Yeah, yeah,
or what they did. You know, I
right.
like the way you say it, and because it reminds me of how I guess we are as humans. You know, I guess when you spoke about like sides to the story and how we have to like be very careful with how we collect data, especially from people, because you tend to find out that sometimes, unfortunately, people only tend to see things from one point of view. You know,
Yeah,
if you're in like a
yeah.
relationship that ended badly, most of the
Mm,
times people would always look at just the bad parts of the relationship, you know, like all the
mm,
fights that you had, all the misunderstandings, everything that just made that relationship terrible.
mm.
And
Yeah,
simultaneously, you forget about all the good things that happened. I don't believe that they can be like something that's like completely one sided, like completely bad. But there are
right.
also, I'm sure, like good parts in between, which we tend to like forget, overlook, or dismiss.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it just reminds me about, you know, how I guess we are interesting as human beings, you know, how we're complex and how despite us being complex, we are still simple in a way.
Yeah, yeah. Hey man, everyone's got a bias, man. Everyone's got some kind of bias. Like if my friend comes to me to tell me a story and the
Hmm.
stranger comes to me to tell me the same story, I'll probably believe my friend, you know?
Yeah.
Because he's my friend.
You're my
So
friend. Yeah.
there's that bias, man. And to add on the relationship thing, someone who break up, right?
Hmm.
And they just remember all the bad stuff. But you ask the person who was dumped, they're like, I don't know why we broke up. They just remember the good stuff, right?
So like
You
I didn't
can't.
see any of this thing
I
coming.
didn't see it coming, bro. Like,
I don't even know what they're talking about. Like they haven't told
thinking the
me anything.
same
I didn't know there was something wrong.
bruh. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it is. Especially when looking back, person will be like, "Man, I remember we had good times." The other one is like, "Hey, we fought so many times, blah blah blah." And
Mm,
it's funny how things go like that, and it's hard to get yourself to allow yourself to view both sides of the coin, I guess, because you
yeah.
can imagine, like, I don't know, you get in an argument with someone, and you're sure you're right, and you go all the way, and then 1 week later it clicks like, oh no, I was so wrong, bro. But
Yeah,
like,
I meant to be
would
so
you
wrong.
allow yourself to like really go down that path of how wrong you were? You know, it's hard.
Enlightened one would like to say yes, you know. The
Yeah. What
enlightened
about
part of me
right?
like be like, yeah. Uh-huh. But I feel like practical Walu,
Yeah, yeah.
I would just be like, nah.
Fiacre, water under the bridge. Let's move
Exactly. It's over and done with. There's no need to go back to it. It's in the past. What's in the past is in the past. No need to go back
on.
to it.
Man.
But,
Uh,
oh
see,
Lord.
that's one thing like music did for me is
Hmm.
that it always it made me be able to always do that without knowing I was doing that, you know? Like I could always write about things in my life and I could
Yeah.
spot like, hey, that thing I did there was wrong, man. And I'll just put it into these
And
lyrics.
yeah,
Yeah. And so like when I became an adult and more like conscious of that,
for everything.
I realized like, whew, good thing I've been doing this for a long time. Now I'm just aware of when I'm doing it. Like I'm able to see like, there, I really messed up. And
Wow.
yeah, man,
In
still
what
hard
song
though.
did you did you get one of those revelations? We gotta look
Man,
them up. Hmm?
man, do I even put those out? There are a lot. And
What you mean? You know,
the
that's a very good question. Actually, I keep on asking you, why do you keep on denying the world your art, man?
man, I don't know. Okay, first of all, I'm a stickler for quality, bruh. I've been
Mm-hmm.
singing quality for years, like I want the art to be always a certain quality, which is bad. Everyone has been telling me like, dude, this shit sounds cool to us. I don't know what you're hearing, so I don't know. Maybe it's I really don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a certain quality. Just I don't know if like I'm close. I feel like I'm close to getting to that the quality that I feel is like, okay, now I can just be releasing songs for fun. Like I can just be releasing songs for fun.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. You know, and
I get
the
you.
one of the main things for me, right? The reason I do music, right, or the reason I write lyrics and record everything is for me. You know, like I just
Ah.
said, I write songs and then I get these revelations about myself. Like this situation I was right, or this situation I was wrong, or I learn, I grow from the music. It's like my journal. And
Yeah, I get what you mean.
right, and so it's not so much about putting it out, but then I realized, okay, I should put it out, but not for notoriety or for like to try and get fans. So
Yeah.
the reason I do music, number one, for me. Number two is for people out there that feel like me to know that they're not alone. That's it.
Yeah, man.
So it's like if I
You
have
should.
an emotion, I write on that emotion and I put a song out there, and like 3 people or 100 people or more, for they mess with the song, like they like the song
Yeah.
and they feel what I'm saying and they're like, I can relate. Those are the people, like, yeah.
You reach
So
out to those are the people who you're trying to
right.
get to.
Just for them to know, like, hey bro, this emotion or this feeling or whatever, yeah, there's other people who feel it too, and we can connect via this song, you know
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So that's probably one of the reasons I don't really just like randomly put out songs just to have songs out.
But you put it out because you got something to say or something
Right,
particular to share with the world.
right. That, and I really want the quality to be a certain level. So when the quality hits that nice spot where I want
Yeah.
it to be, yeah, I'll probably be releasing songs for fun. And music has been my passion. It's one of those things I started doing. Like no one told me to start. I just started by myself. I don't know why. I can't even remember how I started
Or when?
or when. But so it's one of those things. I'm 100% sure I'll probably be 80 and I'll still be writing songs and like recording songs and putting them out or not putting them out. Like yeah, there's no stopping. Takuwa age limit, right? So that's a
I,
good thing.
there's not. I can see that 80-year-old cat, going through his
Yeah.
routine. I don't know if you still
Yeah.
have the same routine, but anyway, yeah, man of routine. Man wakes
Sure.
up at 6 in the morning,
Yeah,
gets on
man.
his, puts on his running clothes, goes
Yeah,
to take
yeah.
his 10K.
Get that 10K after I'm feeling pumped. Set up the equipment. Let's get it. Let's get some bars. Let me tell you. Let me
Rocking
tell you,
Logic Pro.
kids. Uh, let me tell you, kids, about back in the day. Back in the day when we was young.
Mhm.
Man, but
When
yo,
you
can you
first bought
imagine?
Logic Pro, then when you could buy it for a lifetime membership, lifetime subscription.
Uh, I'm pretty sure, man. By the time we're 80, bro, the world will be somewhere else, bro. Like I don't even, bro. I don't even think these Logic Pros and whatnot will still be around. To be honest.
Oh god,
Yeah,
it would have faded out. Oh my god.
fade it out. People will be able to make songs just with their phone, man. Just voice recorder. The voice recorder on the phone will be so advanced. Like the quality on that,
Okay,
just on your
everything, yeah.
phone or whatever we'll have by then will be just, you know.
So exactly
Yeah.
what you mean. Jeez, man. Looking forward to that day.
Bruh, man, interesting stuff, man. Have you been following
Hey,
AI, man? Speaking of the
no,
future, hey, bro.
barely, man. Barely.
Man, all day, every day. I am in that world. I'm like, what? What? The
So
level
what's
it's reached right now?
uh-huh.
Man, it's such a high level. It's such a high level, bro. Like, ah, okay, I'm sure you've heard of ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, but just a broad strokes of it anyway. I haven't really like done much research into it.
Okay. So ChatGPT is an AI model. It's a language model, so it just knows language, and it was just trained by feeding it terabytes of human communication data that
Yeah.
they got. Like they literally got the entire internet up to 2021 and just
Yeah.
shoved it in this model and taught it to predict what the next word in a sequence will be. You get
Yeah.
it, right? So if you
Yeah.
ask it like, what is 10 plus 11? It goes through all of that text that it has, that terabyte of human data, and it'll give you what it assumes is the correct answer, which most of the time is the correct answer. You get it?
Yeah. Damn.
So basically, you can have a conversation with this thing and you can ask it to do anything. Like literally, you can just be like, okay, write me a 2-page job application letter to whatever company, Zesco Limited, an electric company in Zambia.
Yeah.
Um, and it'll write it in like
Damn.
seconds, bro, in seconds. And
Damn.
it's free. So, yay.
Damn.
This shit
Damn.
is crazy, man. Yeah, like you can go there and say, um, write me a job application letter to Zesco in the style of Shakespeare, and it would do it. Here he.
Yeah.
To hire me or not to hire me, that is the question.
Did you just search that up?
Nah, man. I'm telling you, bro. ChatGPT is it's next level, man. You can ask it
Eesh,
like,
man.
someone. I saw a cool prompt. Someone asked it like, tell me the plot of Cinderella. Actually,
Mm.
it's not someone. It's the developers, the guys who made it. They were like, tell me the plot of Cinderella, but make every word that you're using be in alphabetical order from A to Z. So the first word should start with the letter A, the second word
The
should start with the
fuck?
letter B until you get to Z. And when you get to Z, you're done, like telling me the entire plot of Cinderella. And it did it.
No way.
Yeah,
I don't believe that shit for a
man.
second, bro.
If you give me a second, I'll open the site. Let me open the site real quick, then I'll read out
What the
the
fuck?
bro levels, man, levels. And the funny thing about it, right, is like, you know how we always thought that robots are coming and they'll probably just take the jobs of manual labor, like a
Yeah.
robot will come and lift stuff,
Yeah.
but they've just come and started taking the jobs of like intellectuals, you know, like they're able to
Even they have
outthink.
levels, huh?
Yeah. All right, I got it. I got it. So here, this was the prompt they gave it. Like, explain the plot of Cinderella in a sentence where each word has to begin with the next letter in the alphabet from A to Z without repeating any letters. The output: A, beautiful Cinderella, dwelling eagerly, finally gains happiness, inspiring jealous kin, love magically nurtures opulent prince, quietly rescues, Slipper triumph, uniting various wondrously, Xenio youth zealously. Bruh. This thing
That
just,
sounds surreal, man. It sounds
bruh.
surreal.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. I mean, it breaks
Oh,
down the plot, right, of
yeah.
Cinderella, and it goes from A to Z. And this just took it a second. It didn't even, like, what can you
Damn.
do, bro?
Those
Yeah,
are some crazy applications. I'm just
right.
wondering though,
Mm,
how we can use such tech, like to develop and grow ourselves. And I don't
yeah.
mean that from like two people who are out, or two Zambians who are out in the diaspora, but I mean like for the everyday Zambian, so to speak.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities involved, man, because I mean, think about a kid who's struggling with mathematics or with
Yeah,
learning English or whatever. So you can literally go on Chat GPT, right? And just type like, hey Chat GPT, pretend you're an English teacher. And then this kid can just go back and forth talking with this thing, bro. Just typing and it'll be responding. So it's like having a one-on-one tutor, right?
yeah,
And then another way is
damn,
like a person can be uh imagine you're having symptoms, right? But you don't have money to go to the hospital or whatever. Or like even if you have money, it's like I've got money for one test, bro. I can't go on, right? So you can talk to this
yeah,
thing like, okay, if when a person is displaying these symptoms, what are the possible things it could be? Because
yeah,
of course, you can do that on Google, right? But then Google just brings links, and those links are just paid ads, right? Like
yeah.
the person who paid the most money goes to the top of the pile,
Of the list, yeah, most
right?
likely.
And you have to go through all these links, and they just take you to the worst case scenario stuff, you know. So like with this thing, you can ask it anything, and it'll respond, right? And it'll give you some info that is reliable. It's not always 100%, right? Because remember, like I said initially, it's just a language model.
Yeah,
So it could literally be telling you a lie, but with the confidence. So you have to be careful. Like it will tell you a lie with confidence. So I think like even healthcare, someone can just say some basic symptoms and it can give like possibilities of what this thing could be. Something that could sleep
yeah,
the mind of a doctor. You know, a doctor is seeing patients all day. They can get tired
yeah,
at some point and they can see your symptoms and forget one condition, right? Just forget it. Human error. So with this thing there, this a person can have like a list of things they can say like, could it be this or this or this or this or this? So like I think there are a lot of applications, especially when it comes to like education, possibly healthcare as well.
and given the fact that it's what open source software, um, and
Oh no,
everything,
no, 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 no. They
it's not,
it's closed source. Yeah, they
or it's
they
closed.
closed it up because it's too powerful, man. If they make it open source, what's to stop? I don't know, like a person to edit that thing and then just put it on the internet, and then it can just
Uh,
do whatever it wants, bro. It will
yeah.
stop being a language model. It becomes too strong, too
Some
powerful.
something else completely. Well, I guess that's what I was thinking of, but not exactly in like something that's like too strong. But I was thinking of like how if you got like such a template and whatnot, like at your disposal,
Yeah.
it gives you like better ideas of like how you can like explore the software. Like how you've already
Mm.
spoken about how you could alter the software to assist with like education. You
Yeah.
can expand the software sort of assist with what are we looking at, medicals. You could
Yeah.
equally assess the software in like many other different ways that could like equally like or easily benefit the
Yeah.
everyday Zambian in like a lot of different ways where
Yeah.
like usually it would be a problem, you know.
Yeah. Imagine like taxes. You know how hard it is to do taxes, man? You know what I mean? Like it's really
Yeah,
hard to do taxes. Oh, here's another cool one. Lawyers. Not everyone can
mm,
afford a good lawyer, right?
yeah,
So like you could literally you could write your case in the chat and then tell it like how can I convert this to law language basically,
yeah, like a
right?
legal and
And
everything. Yeah,
yeah, legal language, and it'll do that for you. So if you're like representing yourself, you can use this to convey the actual meaning that you're trying to convey in law language. So that there's man, the
so much
potential is
potential for it.
limitless right now. Like there's so much, and the way I see it is like it's a very good opportunity for for Zambia, right?
Yeah,
To skip some grades, man. Like we don't have to go through all the steps that other countries had to take
yeah,
to reach the point where they could utilize this technology. We just have to utilize this technology. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it's
Yeah.
literally right now it's a website, and you can work with these guys to build something on top of this model, and that's what they're trying to do. There's this company, Duolingo. A lot of people
Yeah.
use it for learning language. Yeah, those guys have already started working with OpenAI, the company that made
Oh,
ChatGPT.
really?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure like the in text when you're using Duolingo very soon will be like a very high level. You'll probably just be able to like talk to that thing just like normal
Like right in
conversation,
there,
right?
have a conversation with it. It even
Right.
corrects that. Oh man, you could
Uh-huh.
have said this instead. This is like a grammatical error here,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
actually able to still hold like a conversation with you and still give you those results at the end of it all.
Right. It gives off human vibes, bruh. Like it's it's a little bit scary though. Because it's so easy to forget that that's just a language model and it's just
Yeah.
predicting the next word to say. But this thing, like when let's say you tell it like, um, design for me a meal made out of these ingredients, and then you mention three ingredients. Let's just say mealy meal, beef, and chihuahua,
Yeah.
and then it designs you a meal, and it includes mealy meal, chihuahua, and groundnuts. And then you respond like, "Did I mention groundnuts, or
Yeah.
are these the ingredients that I told you?" Bro, it apologizes first, bro. It's like, "Oh, sorry, sorry. Oh, here's a refined." You get what I
Sir.
mean? Like, just the
Yeah.
fact that it apologized whenever like it makes a mistake and it
Mistake.
apologizes always messes with me a little bit. I'm like, bro.
Mm.
Next thing I knew, I was texting please, like I was adding please in my post, bro. I was like, please calculate this. And
Oh my
yeah,
god.
and then I caught myself. I'm like, am I supposed to be saying please
Hey, please.
to this? You know,
Mm.
it's it's very easy to think like it's it's got some kind of emotion on the other side because it feels like
Yeah.
you're talking to a human straight up. It's like a conversation, bro. It's
Yeah.
interesting stuff, man. I'm like I'm excited. I'm like, I wonder where the world will be like 5, 10 years from now.
I know what you mean, man. And I just hate how I guess like as a country, Zambia, we're like very slow on the uptake. I remember I had a conversation once with my dad.
Yeah.
Despite like how things should be easier, like right now in terms of like education and stuff in Zambia, you find that we still face the same problems. You know,
Mm,
like back then, you'd find that there was only one textbook,
right.
to like an entire class or maybe to like a couple of groups. You know what I mean? Like 4 or 5 people
Right.
would have to share like a single textbook and stuff. And
Yeah.
then now in the technology days, when you technically don't even need a textbook, we
Mm,
still keep on finding ourselves like having the same information problem, where it's not easy to like adequately share that information. It's not
yeah.
easy to like help. Like
Right. I
I don't
don't
even
know,
know
man.
how I can't find the right words for it, but I
Bro,
think you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, really. And see, it always on the ground, the people on the ground, all that stuff, like, okay, cool. I always think about like the leaders who are in positions that have influence.
Yeah,
Like, how expensive are laptops for the government that
yeah,
they can't hook up laptops for schools
yeah.
for kids to start learning how to use a laptop for a government
It's
with a government budget, right?
yeah.
They're not. Let's just be 100% honest. They're actually not. Like the government of
It should
Zambia can probably afford to equip every school in Zambia with a laptop. Like just the
it should be
basic.
possible. Yeah.
It's very possible, man. Tell
Mm.
budget Yapa said in Kwacha, it's a lot of money, bro.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really
It
a lot.
is. It is.
Like
It is.
it's crazy amounts of money. So the issue has never really been like, do we have the resources? It's always how
Ah,
the resources are used. So I always think about the people in power, like what's actually going on with you guys? Like, do you really, really just don't give a fuck? All of you? Like you telling me like, yo, bro,
yeah.
you can't steal Okay, do you remember what was the last budget of Zambia? How many was it in millions, billions? Like
Um,
just the amount of zeros. Is it in billions or millions?
I think it must have been estimated it should have been maybe about a billion quarter. I can just check it right now.
All right, just check. Let's just see what's going on because I
All right.
Mm,
So this is just like one of those quick searches. It says the
yeah,
Minister of
whatever.
Finance and National Planning
Uh,
unveiled a 172.9 billion kwacha budget.
all right,
Damn.
so
That
100
was
and
2022. Yeah.
2022 in the
2022 budget. Yeah.
in the post COVID deal, but okay, let's just settle it down at 100 billion kwacha. You telling
Yeah.
me that all the guys in government, if each of them stole 1 million, there'd be so much money left over to develop the country. Like all of you, steal 1 million, all of you, fine. Like get rich, still take 1 million, all of you, it's fine, cool. But that money that's left over after you take 1 million this year, first of all, buy some laptops and hire some guys to teach these kids how to use the laptops.
Yeah.
And don't even worry about it. Next year, you can steal 2 million. It's allowed. You can steal 2 million. And the money that's left over, right? Do something for the country.
Do
Like
something with it.
that's what I always try to like I try to think about that stuff because in Zambia, where does the money go?
Yeah.
Like how come we I feel like the money goes into big projects that have little like long
Value in the
term
long term.
change. Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you
Yeah.
mean. Why you use short term solutions to fix long term problems.
Yeah. It's like we know like Zambia's industries were built on colonialism, which designed everything to be like extract resources, ship them abroad.
Yeah.
We know this is common knowledge. But then how do you
Mhm.
now just use all your resources to continue that instead of changing it? You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I'm laughing right now because um, this is me going like off the rails completely.
Yeah,
I'm
so
laughing because of the fact that this conversation has gone off the rails, completely off the rails. The plan, like, I kid you not,
uh,
I lost the plan a while back. I literally like put like a couple of things on the plan. I'm like, all right, we're gonna
yeah.
have the life of Kata. We talk a bit
Okay.
about Kata's backstory, education,
Uh,
music, maybe get into fitness and whatnot.
uh,
And we haven't really touched most of that like the way that I was been hoping that would go. I was like, what, which is just
yeah,
popcorn, and it has just popcorn into something else entirely,
man.
and it's been
Yeah,
so fun. But then what's funny is how unknowingly we found ourselves coming right back to the beginning and like making it look like we had a whole plot, and yet we didn't. That's why I'm laughing
yeah,
because because here you are talking about how like we resist change.
yeah.
Technically, the last statement that you made on how like the British the colonial government put this system in place and how we've
Mm,
kept perpetuating it.
full
That's
circle.
exactly that's us refusing change, and that's sort of where we started off. Once we branched off from the audiobooks, and I'm
Yeah.
like, God damn it. People out here gonna be thinking that, oh my God, this guy's planned this whole thing just like this, and I'm like, no.
Natural progression, man. It's the natural
Natural progression.
progression
It
of the
just comes back,
conversation.
to where it starts. Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
it's just like
that's cool, man.
it just got me. It just made me laugh. Like how
Yeah. No,
there's
but
been
if there's anything you wanna ask, like, feel free, man.
yeah. I'm actually liking the conversation. It's super fun. It's super interesting. Mm.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, man.
vibing with it.
Nice.
I'm vibing with it. But yeah, sorry. Before I went tangent, yeah, we're talking about
The
about
resources.
Zambia and how we
Yeah.
hate and how we kept on perpetuating the colonial ideas.
Mm,
colonial idealism. Let's go with that. I like that. Sounds better.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I was I was looking at, for example, like what we do with mining. We still
Yeah.
just we're still just building mines to remove the ore and transport it.
Yeah.
And like no one has thought like, oh, let's just build, let's process it. Let's just process everything here. Let's
Yeah.
just do it. Like, how about we just do it? Okay, how
Uh,
about if we can't do it, how about we try, we fail, and let's see how that goes, as
we
opposed to
learn
like,
from it. Yeah.
right, as opposed to just continuing the same cycle. And I feel like, okay, fine. If you're hard labor or like industries that are difficult to change, cool. Let them stay like that. But at least we can catch up when it comes to IP, intellectual property. That's where this stuff
Property.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, technology really comes in, you know. It really comes in because there are countries out there that don't physically produce anything and they're fine. Like think
I
about,
know.
like Finland. What comes from Finland? Like I don't know, bro. But they're fine over there. Like think
They're
about Norway, bro. They don't
yeah.
make anything. They just make intellectual property. Like they make technologies, sell the technology to the world, and that's how they've built their
They,
society, literally on education. Make sure the
I
kids,
get what you mean.
you know. So I feel like if
Yeah.
we can make a jump and we can skip industrialization, that super industrialization that other economies had to go through while they were risking their environment. Look at like China, India. You can't
Yeah. The
even breathe,
U.S. as well. Yeah.
right? We can skip that.
Yeah.
Like we've got the opportunity to do development better. So,
Differently.
hmm, why should I?
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. You know, I was just hit by like this weird revelation recently. It was to do with the Swiss and how there's this misconception that I don't know if it's everybody or if it's just me that we have about the Swiss and what exactly they produce. You know,
Mm,
and someone told me that the Swiss don't actually produce like anything tangible, like not really.
mm,
What they actually produce or what they really produce are brands. Like you look
mm,
at like most of these chocolate brands or you know some of these sweets watches and whatnot, you
yeah.
find that I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken, but someone mentioned something like even like with the chocolate, you find that it's not made in Switzerland, it's not mass produced
Mm,
maybe in Switzerland.
mm.
But what the Swiss give it is that brand, that
The brand,
identity, and you know the service, you know the delivery, the management, and
right?
yet the actual plant making the what do you call this, the chocolate could literally be anywhere else in the world.
Anywhere, yeah. It
Exactly.
could even be the Swiss chocolate might even
Yeah.
be like a lower quality and lower grade of cocoa plant than the really cheap Russian chocolate that's right next to it. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Get what you
yeah,
mean. So yeah, it's like there's so much there's so much going on in this world. There's so many ways in which you know we can
right.
pull ourselves up. So many different
Yeah,
things that we can do if we just decide to break the cycle. You know, break the
mm,
system. You know, decide to get out of our own conditioning
right.
and just
Get out of
decide
our
to
box.
do it. Exact. Get out of our box.
A
Mm.
nice little copa box with
That's a
maize
very uncomfortable
bars in
box.
front of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. I was
Ah,
like, it's super terrible, man.
hush.
I remember even saying the same thing on like another episode. I was doing it like, with other guys like a couple of months ago.
Mm,
One of the hosts did this project. He actually is doing this project called Third World Suing Context. He talks
mm,
about like a lot of different things, and the first thing he covered was economic development. And we came around even to the whole London Metal Exchange. And I'm like, how is it that in this day and age,
mm.
you know, we've still allowed something like the London Metal Exchange to exist? And
Wait,
yet
what's that? I
London
don't know about
doesn't.
that.
Hmm?
What is that? London
The London
Metal?
Metal Exchange.
Uh, what's that?
So London Metal Exchange is the one that sort of sets the prices for most of
Mm,
these metros and stuff.
okay.
Yeah, so
What is
they
that?
literally like set the thingy, the price of what it is.
Ah,
Remember, like every time when we complain that the price of copper has like fallen, we're talking
ah,
about the prices listed on
on
on the
London
London Metal
Metal.
Exchange.
That's crazy.
Yes,
I thought the market determines that. It's not the market. It's not just supply and demand. Did they
it
lie?
it 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 is, but then it's like the London Metal Exchange is the one that's been. I don't know if it's given the power of the authority to actually like look at what the market is and what the supply is,
Mm, they're
and
pulling the
then like
string.
and then yes, and then make those prices. But then to an extent, what strings are they pulling that we don't see?
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. That's
So
deep, man.
it's a very
Like, how
it's
do we
just a
allow
very
that to
like weird
happen? No?
place. Yeah, it is because I know that even what do you call this? Even oil has got the same problem. I'm not sure who sets the prices for oil, but then
No,
you find that
those
yeah,
oil ones, man.
mm,
these guys from oil-rich countries, not in Africa. Sorry,
no,
Nigeria.
not ones in Africa.
But those
It's
guys,
not the UAE and the like, isn't it?
those guys just said, okay, we've stopped exporting for a bit. Just you guys just do your thing, do whatever you want. As we won't give you any oil. And the world just went haywire, bro. and, and the price of oil went up, and those guys were like, okay, we'll start exporting again. And that's how they got rich, bro. Now you have Dubai and all this craziness going on over there. Those guys just refused to export their resources. They were just like, okay, no. And then everyone in the world was like, wait, what? You mean you can just say no and
Say
not
no.
do it? you
Mhm.
know? I think we
Yeah,
Nigeria should learn about that because Nigeria has got a lot of oil, bro.
I
But
know they do.
they failed to use that to their advantage.
I thought they were though, actually. And I haven't really followed like how it's going with Nigeria and their oil, but I thought they were trying to get control of it because even what's his name
They trying.
Dangote. I remember he was also trying to set up a refinery, a local that they're trying. But anyway, I was trying to say, even Dangote, I
uh,
remember seeing something about him trying to like set up a refinery, a local refinery in
yeah.
in Nigeria to help stabilize things.
Okay. That would be so nice. Apparently, like I've forgotten the percentage, but they're very large. More than 50% of all the oil that comes from Nigeria is it's illegal. People are just using nefarious ways to get this oil out of there, man. They're just
Yeah.
drums. Yeah, it's all just
And actually, come think
it's
about
the
it
wild
now,
wild
it should
west,
even
bruh.
yeah, it should be more on demand, isn't it? Because um after the whole Ukraine Russia
Mm,
um
mm,
I don't even know what to, I don't even know what to, I wanted to say debacle, but then that was like a wrong word to use now.
yeah, it's just the
But
war,
after the incident, anyway,
the war.
I've heard that a number of like European countries are really like having issues with like oil and gas and everything.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing that there must be a lot of
man,
exploitation of countries like
right.
Nigeria,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's honestly
Man, that
terrible
that
to
that
hear.
stuff always messes with me a little bit. Like, how come we fail to really like utilize what we have, especially in Africa, man? I don't know how we like. Let's just stick to Zambia. Like when you look at it, like there's a lot of copper that comes from Zambia, bro. How have we
Hmm.
failed to make that be something special? It's just something that's like underground. Like, oh yeah, Zambia produces a lot of copper. Nothing to show for it though. But you know what I mean? Whereas like
I know what you mean. I know what
other countries just have a very like not even a big thing. Like, well, not I know Hawaii is not a country, but like that place is just known like you go there for holiday
yeah,
because they've just taken tourism and made it their thing. Like they've owned it and they've made it become this special thing, right? So
yeah.
I know in Z we've got copper, but like don't isn't there other products we can create using copper? isn't there something more we can do, bro? You know, like how can we move it forward as opposed to just thinking, okay, let's just get it out of the ground and get rid of it. There's other things we can find out about the properties of copper and how we can create new products that will have demand in the real world, in the world outside of Zambia, you know, to try and help move things along. I always think about stuff.
Honestly, whenever I think about that, I look at it in two ways. I feel like that's the best way in which you can look at why we are where we are. And the first one is the obvious one, of course. It's to do with the colonialism, the long term effects of
Mm,
colonialism, the way
true.
it has like the way I don't even know how to put it in words, but just that profound effect that it's had on us. It's had
Mm,
on our psyche. It's had on like everything that we do.
yeah,
And as we've said, it's made us put ourselves in cages, and we've not been able to see a way out of it. We keep on pushing, subscribing to ideas that keep on pushing us, back into those cages. That keep on, locking up the cages
yeah,
instead of like unlocking them and stuff. It's
got
made
you.
us realize that we've become people who there's so many different ideas, so many different words that I have in my mind. It's been hard to keep track of it,
Yeah,
but essentially, it's just made us, I guess, just not grow the way we could have. If we
yeah,
never had.
yeah. No, I hear you, man. But then it does bring me back to what I was saying initially when I was like, these guys in power who have the resources, who like they're in positions of power, what's actually going on up there? Because it's not really that Zambia has got limited resources. No, Zambia doesn't have money. You know what I mean? What's actually going on up there? Like, is there some information we don't know? Because it's like, okay, there's no electricity, blah blah blah. Because there's no electricity in Zambia. Okay, cool. If I went to like a high school student or someone in primary school and I asked them what forms of generating electricity exist, they'll be there. Oh,
Yeah,
hydroelectricity, solar, wind, and whatever, natural gas, everything. They'll thermal. They'll talk about that. So if a
yeah,
kid can figure that out, surely like the people in power already know the options that exist, right? So
yeah.
it, it leads me to conclude that they have access to information that we don't have, and we would like to know what is going on that causes simple solutions from being implemented. Like how do we have load shedding for like 10 years, more than 10 years, man? There's some kids who've just been born and they think that's normal life, bro. Like in my country, every day I'm like, yeah, like
I know what you mean.
and it's
Yeah.
just normal life for them. Like they've never experienced anything different. And you know what I mean? Like how did we
No,
let that
I know
happen
what
to
you
us
mean.
for 10 years? How did we actually let that happen? Like what are we what are we doing? Are we really trying to like where do our resources go? Like before we even like think about okay, let's fix this mine or let's did we really just neglect like oh let's sort out the electricity for the home first, or
Yeah.
let's sort out the road, or let's sort out the education for the kids so that we have solid individuals in society when they leave this education system, and we put resources somewhere where like we don't see where these resources are going in the lives of the everyday people. It's I don't know, man, it messes with me.
It's greed, man. At least that's what I've come to think it is, man. To
Yeah.
some extent, it's just greed.
No manish nishinga bareba. If the natural that nango I 1 million pe. Won't say about government more better. They're definitely not 100 billion people in Zambia, bro. Why Shwaka?
uh,
I mean, I get it. The government has debt to pay back, etc., but no, regardless
but
of all of
where
that, regardless
the
of all
math
of
isn't
that,
mathing.
the math isn't. They can still
No,
manage
but
to.
then I think I remember speaking about it with a couple other guys, and we spoke about how I guess Zambia is a different breed, man. No, no,
What
no.
you mean, bro?
It's a different breed, and it's going to sound like a bit crazy to say, but anyway, I'm gonna just say it.
Uh,
So, like, you think about like all those like old money,
right.
in like in the West,
Mm,
either Europe or US, like the people who created that old money,
mm,
they thought, you know what I mean, they had that foresight, like try to make something essential, they try to
mm,
grow it and whatnot.
mm,
And I feel like a number of people in our country don't really think like that, or is it the people who we put in service? They don't
mm.
have that idea. They don't have,
The vision.
they don't think like that. You know what I mean? We
Mm,
think like the kids who come from old money, like a few generations past. Those kids who don't know like what it took for that money to come through. Those kids who get that inheritance and squander it. That's who
mm,
like the people in service are. That's the mindset that I feel like they mostly have, is
mm.
they don't understand or see the value of what it is they have. They don't
Right.
understand or see the value or how it came to being the way it is. I
Mm,
think it's like one of those things where, like, if you grow up with money, or at least in the stereotype of the same of those kids who grow up like in those environments,
right.
it's something that they've seen, that this is what we have, it's what we've always had, and it's what we will always have. you know so they
Mm,
don't see a world where the financials become an issue until they become an issue. And I
mm.
guess maybe that could be a similar mentality with what we have, where we believe that, oh, this is something that we have,
This
it's
is it.
something that we will have, and it's something that we'll continue to have. And I guess because of that, we've become sloppy. Well, the people in service have become sloppy. They've stopped
Yeah.
really caring. They've stopped really like putting in all the attention that they could put in, and they
Yeah.
have stopped actually trying to develop or create like a proper ecosystem, because they don't understand what
Mm,
it takes for that ecosystem to actually be alive.
mm.
Because if the rich keep on getting rich and not giving, if the
Which they will.
politicians keep on getting rich, keeping all the money to themselves and their families, I
Mm.
don't know how they expect the communities to grow. You know, I was laughing
Yeah.
at something
They
that I
won't.
heard about how someone literally stole money to like empower their family, and like did like a lot for like their family, like set them up,
Yeah.
like gave them farms and whatnot and all that shit. And then you
Mm.
begin to ask yourself is, yes, what you're doing, sir, is super good and amazing for your daughter, but who
Yeah.
do you think is going to buy from your daughter if everybody else is broke? Hmm?
Right.
If
Yeah.
you keep on like literally stealing from the people who are supposed to be buying from you, who are you really helping? Because yes,
Yeah.
she has all those businesses and whatnot, or yes, your daughter has all those businesses, but people are in so much pressure that they can't even afford to buy from her. So are
Yeah.
you really helping your daughter in the long run? And that's the kind of foresight that I feel like a number of people tend to lose track of.
Mm. Mm.
And I think that's why we find ourselves in the space that we are in. It's just foresight, a lack of foresight.
Yeah. Very short term mentality.
Yeah,
Right.
super super short term mentality. But I guess it's also up to us, to change the people that we that we put into service, isn't it?
So here's the thing,
We
my thing about that. The
mm,
people that want to be in service, they are politicians. The
mhm.
people that would be able to utilize those resources well and get, and use them well
Yeah,
and are smart,
are
don't
not
want
in
to
service.
be they don't want to be. Why would you subject yourself to the life of a politician? If you're
Yeah.
smart, you won't do it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I know.
a majority, not all of them, a majority of the
But
people that end up in those positions and wanting to be like in that bureaucracy of politicians, man, they're all just, it's, you know, it's just a gig. Go in there, get some money, puff up your ego. Actually,
puff up your ego.
yeah, I say that because like I always find it frustrating when they have a
Mhm.
meeting and it's always like honorable member, honorable Mister. Every time before you yeah. Oh man, I was watching this. It was in South Africa actually. This one, it wasn't in Zambia. I don't know if in
Yeah.
Zambia they do the same thing, but every time before mentioning a person's
Yes, they do.
name, they do, right. They have to say
Yeah.
honorable member. Like, niche. So, like, really, we're trying to run. You guys are in service of the people. You're trying
Yeah.
to find out how to like set laws and how to utilize the resources on behalf of the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's an honor for you to do that, bruh. We don't have to call you honorable like every
Honor.
time before we say your name, bruh. Like, why? And
Why?
if you don't say that, a person even takes offense. Hey, you didn't refer to me by the right title, blah 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 blah. I'm like, bro,
Bruh.
figure out how to get food to those kids, bruh. Figure out how to build that
like
road to, I don't know, the village of Mwaziputa or whatever the fuck village is out there, bro. Like, figure out to get a road
you said
down there.
Mozipute again. Oh
Uh,
my god.
worry
I
about
can't believe you still remembered it.
that.
In case you're wondering, Moziputa is not an actual village, or at least we don't believe it is.
I don't
It
think it
just
is,
sounds
but
like it could be one.
it's probably out there somewhere, man. I must have heard it somewhere. It's like, no, figure out how to get a road to that instead of worrying about whether a person said honorable this, you know? It's like when you
Yeah.
get a person who's just a politician,
Hmm.
their entire ambition is to win the election or whatever situation that puts them into that position. Their
Yeah.
ambition is not to
It's not for
utilize
growth.
resources and grow the country. It's to win the election. So that's where the
Keep
pressure comes
themselves in
in. Like, how
service.
do you find that person who's all right? And every once in a while, that person comes along. They don't get votes,
Yeah.
bruh. I remember a long time ago there was a guy called Elias Chupimo.
Hmm.
Elias Chupimo, like he's an economist, and you know what I mean. Like when he was talking,
Yeah.
um, I remember thinking this guy's got sense, man. Like he's talking, he's chilled, he's
Yeah.
subtle. He wasn't playing those games of like,
You
um,
can.
yeah, dissing each other back and forth or trying to undermine the other person. He was just talking economics, bruh. He was just talking, like, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, man. Nobody just trying to hear a guy talk about economics all the time. They want sound bites. They want catchy songs, and how, whatever the fuck Edgar Lungu did to to sway people to vote for him. Even though we had the video of him literally saying, "I've got no plan for the
No.
country," bro. Like respect, bro. Respect. Like Edgar Lungu, respect, bro. Like how did he
Man, I
do
know
that?
what you mean.
Yeah,
Like this is something that should not be happening, but
it shouldn't
somehow
be.
it did.
It did. Like, hey, bro.
you know,
So yeah,
this is what makes me say, like, like first things first, you gotta blame the colonialism.
bro.
That's true. That's real.
Yeah,
Denying it would be lying to yourself and to everybody else.
that's
But
true.
the second thing is accepting your own part in perpetuating colonialism or that colonialist mindset, because I feel like after a while, man, people should have like woken up. You know that like it's like when you wake up, man, and then you've got like all that crust like on your eyes, man. Also
Mm,
like wash your face, and it clears up your vision and everything. But it feels
Right.
like it's been what 50 something 56 years, and we still haven't like washed that crust off our eyes. We still can't see
Right.
clearly, you know.
Bro,
We're
we
still
still have the same problems. Like the
exactly.
same exact problems. We don't even have new problems. Like we there's like no new kind of problems that we experience as a country. We still have the
Yeah,
same exact problems. Books.
exactly.
We're trying to deliver books to Western Province, but there was a flood, so we couldn't get the books. What? Still?
What? So,
Still in
like this
2023?
day and age,
You know?
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm. We're
But
talking
then,
about like terrible road networks
uh,
and like terrible access to healthcare and whatnot, you know. And I think to some extent, I understand if there was even like to do with like healthcare. There's like selective healthcare, or like some
mm,
major surgeries can be done in Zambia, but we're still in a place where major surgeries still require you to fly out to the U to SA
so
or to
bad.
India to get done.
Uh,
I'm like,
oh, for
how
yeah.
is this a thing? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
It's
still.
it's when we're not yet in the game. We've still got a long way to go, and I feel like our progress is so slow because maybe less people have their awareness of like what's going on.
Mm,
Um, and the people that do have their awareness don't have the platform to try and fail and try again. Um, in
yeah,
Z, sometimes I feel like you only get one shot. Like you try, if you fail, it's chop. Right?
it's, it's done. You've missed your shot. You've missed your opportunity. You've missed that
So
moment.
there's a thing where like I do feel we do need platforms, but at the same time we need to be able to let people try something that isn't, how do I put this? Okay, let me just say something different, right?
Yeah,
Something different from what already exists. Like it's okay to
yeah,
try something different from what already exists, but then how are you going to do that when the people in positions want everything to stay the same,
keep the
right?
same.
Right.
Yeah, because
When you
change
approach
means
somebody and you tell them like, okay, I've got this new idea, and they just tell you that won't work in Zambia, and you're just like, mm,
um.
bro, why? Why are you? Why won't it work in Zambia? No, the people. This. I'm like, I don't know, man. When I talk to the people on the ground, they they want they want access to these things, right?
Yeah,
They want access to like the latest technology, and
yeah, they do.
I haven't yet met a Zambian who I can just say like, this one is dumb, bruh. I've never, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, very intelligent people. We just need the access. If we just have that information and we're given room to experiment, to try things out, and we'll be all right. But the people in positions don't even just want to give that lifeline like that, bruh.
mm.
Well, what can you say? What can
Well,
you
I
say
guess
when you have
it's
100 billion, 100 billion, bro?
100
But
billion kwacha.
uh,
Hey
you
man,
have all.
I guess it goes back to that old Christian is it proverb or saying, um give a man fish. Yeah, have
Mm,
I forgotten it?
you eat for one day,
You eat for one day.
teach a
Yeah,
man how
but
to
teach him
fish.
how to fish, and he'll eat for a lifetime.
Mm.
They don't want you to know how to fish because if you know how to fish, then they become irrelevant.
You don't need them.
You don't
Uh,
need them anymore. And I guess,
policymakers are always needed. That's the thing. That's the beautiful thing. Like, hey, let us be on the ground. Let us try to create. All right. You guys just make the
mhm,
policy to make sure we don't make a mistake or we don't exploit the people. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
can't
I
be the
got you.
politician and you're the one exploiting the people for who the policies you make are supposed to protect, right? Your job is to
Yeah,
make those policies that protect these people, but then you're using that position to become
enslave them.
rich. Yeah, you become rich. Ah, but you can do both, right? I understand. Like for me, like I've been stopped like feeling bad, like oh politicians steal what. Well, I'm like okay, bro, steal, but I'm not. I'm a hundred
Bro,
percent sure there's enough money for you to steal, and enough
I,
left over for you to do your job, bro.
true. I get what you mean. I guess it's a discussion that's been had for a while, isn't it? About how like the level of greed is just terrible in certain places. You
Fam.
know
Yeah.
how in some places there's a contract to build. I can't remember who said it, but I'm paraphrasing.
Uh,
In some places, there's a contract to build like 10 bridges. You
uh,
know, and you find that maybe 9 or 8 to be built, and two, will be, would have funds misappropriated.
uh,
But then for us, it turns out to be the opposite, where there are 10 contracts that need to be done. At the
uh.
end of the tenure, you find two have been done and 8 have been squandered.
I've been
You know,
squandered.
it's
Right.
like
So we
the level
overdo.
of greed
Yeah, man.
is like
How much
high.
money is enough money, bro? You ever think about that?
Well, that comes back to the question that we had. that, it comes back to the conversation we had last time, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
Though
like
in
how much
different
money is
context.
enough? What's the number where I think everyone needs a number. Everyone needs a you know?
you put that on everybody, not just us, but like everybody.
Yeah. Everyone needs like a stop sign, right? Before you overdo it. Like, Bagamba, when I hit this number, then I can chill. But it's very hard. Like, I don't know if there is such a number. Like, how much money is enough money? I don't know if there is such a number. But
I,
yeah, greed is
I feel
a
like your conscience has to tell you that your level of greed has just gone over.
right.
Like
But bro,
it's like some crazy gluttony. I'm
mm,
thinking of I'm thinking of I'm putting it like in a way that's like more palatable. And what
yeah.
comes to my mind is the book Dune again, where there
Oh
was
yeah,
that Baron who was so fat that even had like fat suspenders, like to
yeah,
carry his weight.
yeah, yeah,
And I feel like if you had to put it like in a non-fictional context, that's how you know you're too fat.
bro.
Well, you actually need help, to actually carry your weight.
Yeah,
I don't know how that plays around with like money and in the real world though.
yeah.
Mm.
It,
But
it's
when you reach that point, that's
mm,
how you know that you done too much.
bro.
Mm.
I know, man. I really hope we can find a way to like navigate that the whole thing like of development in Zambia. And I don't even think we need the traditional development, quote unquote.
Hmm.
Um, I just think we need a better standard of living. Like the
True.
poorest people in the country, their level needs to go up. Like
Yeah.
I don't think the level of the richest people in the country needs to go up. Like they're fine,
That's
you know.
fine where it is.
That's fine. Like they can sort themselves out. The focus needs to be at the bottom of the pyramid there. That's where like,
Yeah.
you know,
Things
um
gotta change.
yeah, like cuz I think about China and how everybody everybody, the richest and the poorest, the bottom of the barrel. Like I don't know how low. Like I need you to understand what I mean when I say the bottom of the barrel. All the people, the poorest people, all of them
Hmm.
know how to use smartphones, right? Like
Yeah.
extensively. Old people, like
No, I
80,
I know
90
what
years
you mean.
old,
Yeah.
know how to use smartphones. Like, and I think that's something we can aim for in Zambia because of like what having a smartphone means, like in terms of what information you have access to and what
Yeah.
opportunities you have access to, even just for business. You can imagine someone who deals in secondhand clothes, right?
Yeah.
Which they buy from either China or India or whatever. You can do that on your phone, the entire business. You can
Yeah.
search for the stuff
You
you
can
want to buy it,
purchase it,
Yeah, have it
make
transported
payments
to
online
Zambia,
through it,
right?
track it through
Uh,
it. Yeah,
track it,
re-
everything. You can do it and
receive
then
it. Even like
receive it.
once things come into Zambia,
You
you
can
can use
sell
your
on
phone
there,
and everything to manage your business and whatnot.
right? To manage your inventory and to do your entire advertising and
Yeah,
all the
financial
marketing
aspect.
materials that you
Uh,
need for your adverts, you can make them on your phone. So, right?
yeah,
So I feel like there's certain things we can aim for as a country, which are very small. Like they seem like trivial, like phone is just for fun, but no, right? It's about how you
there's
use it,
more
right?
to
How you're
it.
taught how to use it. And I feel
Yeah,
like, you know, we can learn from these people who have like their society, even old people, 90 years old, know how to use these phones that did not exist when they were young. They just don't take
yeah.
that approach of like, if you're right or this technology, I'll leave it for the younger generations.
For the young ones, yeah,
They get on board. They get on board. They know what it is. Um, and that's how like that's one thing I give China respect for that I believe we can learn from in terms of like how we behave in society. You know what I mean? Like in Zambia, when it comes to like technology and learning new things and what adopting the
yeah.
new
I
technology when it's happening.
I get what you mean, man. And it's true. You know, it's funny how like on a lighter note,
Mm,
the thing that came to my mind was a conversation I had with a GN. We were talking
yeah.
about how like she was having an argument with like her grandfather over which phone they're going to use to like take a photo with.
Yeah.
Because like the granddad was like, no, his Huawei is like better, it's got this and this. And then
Mm,
agent is like, no, my iPhone is like that and that. I like they literally had that argument. And I'm
right.
like, I don't see myself having that argument with
Right.
like my grandparents, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Oh,
it's sort of like, but why not? Okay,
why not? You know?
is you know what I mean? Like that's what I mean. But phones are there in Z, right? Like
Exactly.
they're there.
They're there.
I don't know
But
why we do that. I don't know why we do that. It's the boxes once again. It's this box. Like okay, yeah, right, me, this is my box.
right. Mm,
This is my
for me,
box.
I'm too old. I'll
Mm,
just keep up with the 9320.
bruh. With the big buttons.
These are
So
big
like
buttons.
buttons for clicking. Yeah, man. And I really hope like we can develop growth mindset. You've heard of that, yeah?
Yeah, I have heard of the growth mindset.
Oh yeah,
One of the
which
things
leads
also
me
actually need to
into
look into.
yeah, it leads me into a book. It's called Growth Mindset, by Carol Dweck.
I
So
actually
that's
have
the
it. I
name of the
got it
book.
from you.
You probably did, cause like man, when I find a good book, I'm giving everybody, bro. I'm quick. I'm quick. Like yo, you need to know what's going on with your brain, bro. Growth mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good book, and I feel like it's a very important book. On my top 10, it's in there. It's right up there with the one I mentioned earlier, Man's Search for Meaning and Can't Hurt
Yeah.
Me by David Goggins. But yeah, growth mindset, very important. And basically, in a nutshell, it's just like your brain never stops learning until you stop using it to learn new stuff. Then it stops learning. So there's no such thing as like at this age
Um,
you can't learn something new anymore. You stay learning your whole life. So yeah, old people, young people can equally learn how to use computers and utilize them to their potential. You know.
I get what you mean, man.
Ah,
I get what you mean. It's about time we start utilizing our potential, you know. Not just with tech, I guess, but with
right.
everything that we do, you know. We
Mm,
start realizing the value in ourselves
right.
and we start to enforce it more. And we make sure that others see that value in us so that we don't take anything less from other people.
Mm, mm,
And we just, you know, do like the Arabs do and just say, nope, I'm not selling you my copper.
Let's hold on to this for a little bit. Let's just hold on to the copper for a little bit
Let's just hold on the copper for a little bit, you know.
and
Let's
see
hold
what
on to,
happens.
whatever we have that makes value, and
Yeah.
stop looking at trying to like export it and whatnot, and start looking inwards and being, what can we do
What
with
can
this
we do with
ourselves
it?
to
Yeah.
add value,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
And
man.
then we just work our way up there.
It's dope stuff. Dope
But anyway,
stuff. How we get that into the society, man? How to get that mindset? I guess you look at the
hard
kids
man.
then, right?
It's hard, man. It's generational. I guess that's what makes it hard again. And it's something that we have to realize, that we also have to start making, you know, or deploying, long-term solutions to some of these problems that we face,
Mm,
and be okay with the fact that this is a step that we're taking,
mm,
not for me, not for my child, but hopefully
mm,
for his child,
mm.
you know. And I
Levels.
think that's where we now have to start to change our focus, and that's, look, we have to start making those hard decisions, for those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And changing how we are, as,
I do.
hoping.
I do. I try not for these memes we see online. There was like one I saw at the planting a seed when you know you won't stand in the shade of the tree it produces, something like that.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I know it. Yes, I feel like I've seen it exactly, just like that, man.
Mm,
You don't want it to give you shade. Nah, it's gonna
right.
give somebody else down the line, and
Mm,
that's how we need to start looking at things more. But
mm.
again, back to that whole colonial mindset, and us being trapped in our ways, it messes up with everything. I guess it's the same thing that also messed up the whole an entire United Africa anyway. But
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's a conversation for today.
That's a whole nother podcast on its own, man. That one. Hey, hey. No, man. I
I
hear
know,
you.
man.
I mean, look. Hopefully, we like in Z, we can come together and figure things out, and
Hmm.
not put so many limits on ourselves in terms of like the things we question and what we believe is possible, and what we try.
Hmm.
You know, y-
Yeah.
um, we have a very rare opportunity where there's a new sort of world that's about to happen right now. Like the
Yeah.
stage that technology is at right now is where new things can happen. Like that disturb the old way of doing things is about to change, right?
Yeah.
It's about to change, and we're right there, and anyone can join, regardless of the level of their country or the level of their money. Like it's not even about that, but anyone can join and build something, right?
Yeah.
That's where we at right now. Like we've got an opportunity to do development and all the nice stuff that we want for our country and our kin and our family. We've got the chance to do that now better than it was done in the past, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, we just have to utilize that, like utilize this time, stay up to date with all the info, get your hands dirty, get in there, man. Just get in there.
I like that, man.
You, man.
I like that. It's just like, man, this is why I love talking to you, man. God, this is why I love talking to you. I have a cousin, and he reminded me that you're only. I'm trying to make it sound more profound.
Just say it, bro.
No,
And
no,
add
no,
a
no,
little razzle to it.
no,
Little
no, no,
razzle
because like
dazzle.
what he said was like, it's got meaning, but it's bland. He
Yeah.
said, "Iron sharpen iron."
Oh
It
yeah.
sounds like mean, like it's bland, but
Yeah.
it's got deep meaning. I was trying to make it sound profound, like like
Yeah.
some King Arthur kind of stuff. But anyway, some
Iron
Shakespeare
sharpens
kind of stuff.
iron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess it's something that I guess we tend not to do a lot, I guess as young people, as youth, we
Mm,
tend not to look to each other and like sharpen each other and like have these deep conversations about life, about community, about identity,
yeah,
about who we are and everything, because we tend to feel like they're, I guess, goes back to what you said about boxes, and those are for old people, or those are for those people.
right, yeah,
We tend not to like have these conversations, but then
right,
the more that
right.
we have these conversations, the more it allows you to like explore more of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The more it allows you to like see into like allows you to see different possibilities of the world around you,
Sure.
different ideas. It takes off that limiter that we've put on each other as members of this community that we live in.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, man, it's so good to speak to you most of the times because
Sure. The feeling is
sharp
mutual.
iron sharpens iron, man. You just keep on
Yeah.
going. Like, God damn it. You need to start talking to more people, in Z, start, having more of these discussions. Yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
can say that sounds like this or that sounds like that, but hopefully the more of us that keep on talking like this,
Yeah.
in just a couple of years, hopefully, we'll be enough to take over the entire government service and everything, and actually start
Mm.
to make or ask for proper, what am I thinking of? We'll be able to take more control or take a leading. Chizungu manje chaenda zona. But
But
we'll
I,
just begin to take control of our destiny, man. I guess that's
yeah,
essentially what I'm trying to say.
yeah. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. Um, and I agree, man. It's always nice talking to you, bro. Cause you've got a unique perspective, and yeah, man. I always feel, cause like for me, right, I get into stuff, like I get into any topic. It doesn't matter. Like I will talk about it, and I always like it when someone has a different view of
Yeah.
something. Yeah, which is something I'm able to get from you. So like, and I also feel like I can talk to you, bro, with no judgment. You know what I mean? If I just said
Yeah.
something completely absurd, like something that's just crazy, I'm not worried. Like well, like
I get you.
yeah, so that's always cool, like to talk to individuals who are not like judgmental, and also have like a robust understanding of like certain things, and so that makes the conversation that much better. We should do this more often, bro. We should do this more
Yeah, we
often.
should actually.
Thank you for having me, Mr. the Great Walu. Anytime, just call me up, come through for one of these conversations. It was a lot of fun, bro.
Hey, man, I'm super happy and glad you're able to be here for this one. And
You
I'm
know.
super happy and glad you stuck with it despite it going off the rails.
Bro, I'm pretty sure I took it off the rails. Like that was my bad.
Hey,
My
man,
bad.
it's
I
good
took off.
content, man.
Yeah.
As you said, like with your music, this is less about others, but more about us personal. Just getting to talk about us, about our stories. Getting to share them. And if it even makes one person out there like go like, oh my god, me too. Oh my god, iron sharpens iron. Oh my god, let me read an audiobook.
Sure.
For me, that's a win, man.
Sounds like a win
That's a
to
win.
me too, man. Sounds like a win to me too. All right, fam.
Exactly.
All right, fam. Appreciate you.
Catch you on the next one.
All right, man. Peace. We should do this more often, bro. We should do this more
Yeah, we
often.
should actually. I haven't doubt I'll be able to put it out on the podcast itself. I feel like I'll end up just posting it on the YouTube channel.
It
No,
went all over, huh?
yeah, it went all over because I'm like, if I put it on the podcast, like that's some crazy editing I'm gonna have to do, and like it's
Bro,
long. I've just
bro.
realized like we're like 2 hours
We're
deep
two
in it.
hours, 20 minutes deep.
Exactly. And I'm like, I don't even know how to correct it. The only thing I can do is listen to it, like edit it, clean it up, smoothen it out,
Yeah,
and
remove
then just put in
summary.
like chapters. So that if
Yeah.
someone is like on YouTube, they can they can just focus on one particular chapter. If someone
Uh,
just wants to hear us rant and talk about the audiobooks, they'll just just listen to that part only
but
and
if
be
we
done.
stick to one topic for more than like 30 minutes, how long did you want it to be?
Honestly,
Like
um,
an hour or less than an hour?
our usual like runtime is like an hour, but that's because we've not really like experimented much with listeners and listening, over an hour.
Ah,
We
okay.
haven't like experimented that much. Apart from maybe at the beginning, and when we did, it was shaky. But then again, that was the beginning.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Got you.
But then,
I mean,
but
hey,
then even if
you
the
never
people
know,
who
bro.
I heard would listen, man, to like 2 hour conversations,
Yeah,
and look at me, I listened to a book that's what 16 hours long.
right. Hey, man, look, if it can be done, you can even divide it in two parts, part one and part two,
Yeah,
or you can cut it into tinier segments. If we stuck to a topic for like 30 minutes, that can
yeah,
be a thing, right? Or you can just post
yeah.
it on YouTube, as you said.
I think I like the whole YouTube idea. Just to give it, a bit more content, and I like the conversation. I think that's why I didn't control
Okay,
it. Everything was good, man. I like the chemistry. I like the conversation, the way it
yeah,
flowed, the way it went to. Like we didn't need to stick to something longer than we had to. Like we didn't have to like let it go still. You know how that ends up happening. Why you end up like over focusing on one
sure.
thing or trying to like meet like a certain time constraint that you end up losing the value in the
I
thing.
hear you. Yeah, that's true. Also, if you want to do the one that is like sticking to the format you had, we can also do that, like, and just make it a separate thing, right? So we can also do that like some other day, and yeah, just get it right.
Definitely.
Oh man.
But to be honest,
Yeah,
I love
this
this.
was nice, bro. We need to do this again. I feel
Well,
like we can um make something out of this, man. Have one where we just talk about books,
no, definitely.
one where we talk about what's going on, and yeah, we could probably do this, man. Maybe shorter. Um, yeah, but I'm down.
It might just be. It might just be. Because I was even thinking of like putting up like a playlist on YouTube. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
have it as conversations with. Mm,
Mm, yeah.
yeah, and conversations with, and then under there just have like conversation with Carter part one. And then
Right,
as they
right,
keep on going, we end up having conversation with Carter part two, part three,
right.
and then eventually, Lord knows, maybe I might even have conversation with somebody else and just add them onto the same playlist.
Sure.
Because as much as what we spoke about wasn't fixed, wasn't completely,
Structure.
about Zambia or whatnot, I like the expression, the conversation, because it's just two people having a conversation, and there's value in that.
Yeah.
Even if it's just about the things going around, that's value.
Right. I mean, look, if people wanted just that structure, they'd listen to or watch interviews,
Exactly.
right? And podcast is more chilled. You're just vibing,
Easy.
talking.
Yeah.
You know, you control the way the
Exactly.
conversation goes, but essentially you can just let it go.
Just let it go.
Just let it go. Wait.
Stop
Mhm.
holding on, man. Stop trying to, box yourself. And I guess that's just what I didn't want to do. I don't want to box myself and just be like,
uh,
nah, it should be this.
to be
Because,
the
like, trust
this
me,
box
I
keeps
don't
coming
host.
back.
Yeah, it does. Like, and the reason why actually is because I actually stopped hosting a while ago because I had like a colossal.
Yeah,
I had an episode that I hated, and it like really like just made me feel less confident about myself as a host. So I,
y-
I don't, even like till now, I don't host. Like
all
not
right,
really.
man.
Not deliberately anyway. I end up finding myself having to host.
Okay.
But I
Ah, but
don't
bro, it's
I'm
part
not a
of the
big fan
learning
of it.
curve, man.
No, it is part of the learning curve. But then it was the episode titled what was it titled? Education. What was it? I can't remember what it was, but anyway, it was like focusing on like education in Zambia, and I
Okay.
even remember when I recorded it.
Eee.
I recorded it. Yeah, like I remember like okay, not the exact day, but I remember like it was during the same winter camp, the Magic Academy camp and everything.
Mm.
I was so psyched about it because I was speaking to a lecturer from Unza, and she's
Okay.
an amazing lecturer with like so much information. But I didn't know how to channel that information. I didn't know how to direct that information, you know, because
Mm.
like I guess I was still like trying to catch my feet and everything. And she
Yeah.
was the first person who I spoke to who had like an amazing reservoir of information because like she knows a
Right.
lot of stuff. She knows her stuff.
Right.
And I guess I sort of got overwhelmed and I didn't build it properly.
Mm.
And even like when I was getting back to her and like running back and forth, it didn't click to me like how much she knows and how I should adjust, and try to make arrangements, for that.
Okay.
And I just felt like super bad in the end because like I felt like I didn't handle it as best as I could have. And since then, man, I've just been like, nah, I don't really wanna,
Man.
I don't really wanna host.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be in the background and work on the on the stuff
Ah.
behind the scenes and
The
just get
great
everything
one.
ready. That's how I
Mm.
switched.
Okay. I mean, I get it,
Yeah.
but it's part of the learning curve, man. You're
Yeah.
probably better off because from that now you know exactly what you would have what you could have done better, right?
Yeah.
So now for future guests, like if you have somebody who has an extensive reservoir, as you put it, you know
Hmm.
exactly how to approach that situation, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something. I think it's a good learning curve, and everyone has to go through those. You know, like some failure, it gives you information that you improve upon. So
Yeah,
I
man.
think you can still host, man. Whenever you feel like, just like you hosted
Nah,
today, you hosted, right?
like today, yeah,
Mm,
yeah, man. Mm.
it's all good.
Nah,
My
I've
my
actually
my
been,
homie
I've
just came
actually
into
found
the room,
myself.
by the way.
Oh no, it's okay. It's
It's all
all
good.
good, man. This is like it's
We're
like
still
the end.
recording,
I yeah, man. I may include it. I may not include it. Like it
but this
doesn't really
part will
matter.
probably not be included.
Yeah. Yeah. Or as I said, man, it should just go up on YouTube or anything, man. It should just come in as closing credits.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what am I
Yeah.
thinking of? J.
You know,
Cole.
actually, oh, that song, bruh.
2014 for
He,
SEO
he
Drive.
went
Yeah.
ham, bruh, for like 3 minutes
Yeah,
just talking. Yeah, but probably a good
man.
point to end it will probably be there when we talked about like, yeah, having conversations with other people, what, that point,
Yeah.
and then just toss in a car. All right, bro, goodbye. All right, peace. And then the
Yeah,
stuff after
yeah,
that
that was the
will probably
plan
take
actually.
over.
Around there, that was
Yeah,
where it was. That was where it was gonna end.
right. Cause after
Yeah.
that, stuff became personal, man. We just started talking about like, you know, the podcast itself. So
Yeah.
mm, it's fine.
Hey,
We
man.
can end it at that
Let
that place there.
uh, yeah, man. Just people will be shocked, man. They're getting to know how this episode got to be on YouTube. Uh,
Oh man. No,
you
I
know,
hear you.
I feel like I wanna do more of these. You know,
Yeah,
a
this is
bit.
what I kept on telling you. Like, bro, why it can be structured, but it can also not be structured. Just
Structured, yeah,
find people to talk to and just talk to them, man.
and just talk
Yeah,
to them, yeah.
yeah.
And just see where the conversation goes.
Where the conversation
Mm.
goes, that's where we're going.
But then, like,
And I feel like
you
you're a
know,
good host, by the way,
thanks, man.
because
Thanks, I
like,
appreciate it, man.
yeah, yeah, you weren't like
You've been an
hogging the
amazing guest, man.
conversation.
Just saying, trust me, we've had like crazy guests. You've been an amazing guest too.
Why? Thank you. Why? Thank you very much. Oh, oh man.
Oh,
But anyway, fam,
oh man. Yep.
I have to eat. I ran 10 kilometers today, and I did strength training. So I need to eat, bro.
Nah, man, you it's almost 6.
Bro, and you know what happened?
Mm,
I I did my strength training, and
yeah.
then I did my 11.5 kilometers. I bought 3 meals, and then I came to the room, um, took a shower, and
Yeah.
came and set up for this podcast and started talking to you. So like I have to somehow eat 3 meals from now, which is like 17:45 and before 10 p.m. for 22 hours when I sleep. And I'm so happy because I like eating and I'm going to eat all this food. Like I'm going to eat it, bro. There will even be space for snacks, bro. It's about to go down.
God damn.
Woo. It's about to go
Mm.
down, bro. I'm about to be a happy camper. I think this is the time for me to now find a nice movie to watch, like a movie or two. This is it.
Oh, God damn it. Or stand up.
Or
Chris Rock in
stand up,
stand
huh?
up. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Mm.
Bro. I I watched it, man.
Oh, you did. Yeah, I've
Man.
just remembered Yannick told me about it.
Hey, bro.
I
Yeah.
haven't yet watched it. I haven't
I'm
yet
a,
watched it.
okay. Watch it. Watch it. When you
Man,
when
I
you have
was
the
looking for it because I saw it on my Netflix when it premiered, but then
mm,
it disappeared. Mm.
right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If we to tamba fe pama site yada fe Maria Shiva. You know, we should
Yeah.
probably cancel that. We don't want that on the internet, but yeah. Yeah, that's the site I streamed it on.
Sorry, give me a second. But anyway, nah. Let's stop it here. This is 50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 All right. We
Otherwise,
can
we'll keep on. We'll start talking again slowly, slowly, slowly.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. There's
And
always so much to talk about. But
yeah,
anyway,
man.
man, let's do a proper outro. Thank you for having me, Mr. The Great Walu. Anytime, just call me up. Come through for one of these conversations. It was a lot of fun, bro.
Hey, man. I'm super happy and glad you're able to be here for this one. And
Yeah,
I'm super happy and glad you stuck with it, despite it going off the rails.
bro. I'm pretty sure I took it off the rails. Like that was my bad.
Hey, man.
My bad.
It's
I
good
took it off
content, man. You
the.
know, as you said, like with your music, this is less about others, but more about us personal. You know, getting to talk about us, about our stories. You know, getting to share them. And if it even makes one person out there like go like, oh my god, me too. Oh my god, iron sharpens iron. Oh my god, let me read an audiobook.
Sure.
For me, that's a win, man.
Sounds like a win
That's a
to
win.
me too, man. Sounds like a win to me too. All right, fam.
Exactly.
All right, fam. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Catch you on the next one.
All right, man. Peace.
All right. That was good. Now I need to even start figuring out an intro.
Yes, you do. Man.
Mm.
Just say, and
Yeah.
we're live. Just be like,
Wait,
okay.
I
But
don't
then,
even know how I
you
started
yeah.
actually.
Do you know what? You should also include that food
Ah,
thing. What?
the what?
The food thing, like the workout food
Man,
thing. That shit was too funny, man.
I'm keeping all of it in, man. But one thing I've just remembered is that we didn't do an intro.
No, we did not. But it's cool.
We just started talking.
Okay. What do you want to do the intro now?
I have no idea even how to like even run the intro because the episode is no longer what I thought it was gonna be.
No, just say, hey, what up, guys? Our guest today is Catalyst. And then I'll be like, hey, what's up, guys?
What?
I'm Catalyst. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. We'll just keep it simple. All right. Cool.
yeah.
All right. All right. Here we go. Hey guys, how you doing? It is I.
The
That
great.
music. This is why I say I'm a terrible host. Anyway,
Mm.
thank you for joining us on this episode of. I'm not yet sure what exactly it's gonna be, but anyway, that's the fun of it. Just getting to discover exactly what it is that you're creating and what it is that you're gonna do
Uh-huh.
is a joy in itself. And
Uh-huh.
I'm fortunate enough to be joined by a close friend of mine, someone who I've known for a few years, but actually it feels like I've known him forever because like there's just so much crazy histories, so much crazy memories that I have with him. Um, his name is Catalyst, or would you rather go by the not the stage name, but the real name?
Both are okay. Catalyst is fine. It's fine. Just Catalyst.
Catalyst is fine.
Uh,
All right. It's Catalyst. Hey man, how you doing?
yeah, I'm doing good, man. Excited to be here. This is my first time doing a podcast, by the way. So,
Ah.
yeah, thank you for having me, man.
Man, I'm happy. I'm sorry, man. I know as you said it's your first time, and unfortunately, we don't even know what we're doing here. Not really. So
That's what makes it fun, eh?
it makes it interesting.
Yo. Yeah.
Anyway, as J. Cole says in Wet Dreams, I never did this before, but you still go on.
Nigga, behave, bro.
Man, that song is more than just sex. I kid you not, man. That song, man,
Bro.
man, that song speaks to my soul, man. I've removed the sex from it, and it's just about like encouragement and like I don't care if it's my first time or anything with anything. I'm acting like I know that thing, and I'm just going in to get
I'm
it.
just going in.
I'm not gonna let anything stop me.
All
Hmm?
right. Hey, man, it is what it is, bro.
Man, man,
That's the good thing about art. You can interpret it however you want, man.
yeah, it is, man.
Oh man.
It is, man.
Yeah.
It is a great thing about art.
Mm.
But anyway,
We got
shit,
it.
I can't remember. I can't even remember what we spoke about first. I was trying to segue into audiobooks, but I can't even remember if that's where we started from.
Just
Mhm. But
so,
but
and then you
yeah.
can insert it
Um.
from there.
Anyway, yeah. I think I should have enough and enough audio like
Yeah.
throughout the entire thing to string something together. Mm,
Right. All
yeah.
right, man. All right.
Thanks a
Cool.
lot, man.
Sure. No pressure, man. Just let me know when you want us to start advertising before we release.
All right, man. I will let you know. This is like gonna be 2 hour item, and I've got like a hike this week. I don't even. I don't even know how I'm supposed to edit them. Good thing is, I'm not editing anything for like from the village ZM like in the next 2 weeks, so that's a
Okay.
good thing.
All right.
Yeah. All
Hopefully
right.
this doesn't need like a lot of editing.
Nah, man. It will most likely just eat about.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
saying
mostly
two
about
hours would be a lot,
removing.
but it will just eat about 4 or so,
Yeah.
4 or 5. So
Okay.
it's fine. Yeah.
All
Anyway,
right, fam.
let me run out. Let me dip now. Mom has been calling me.
All right. All right, fam.
Man,
All right.
take care,
You,
man.
mm.